winning the game. I thought all the momentum was on our side. I thought if we got it, we could end the game. I hurt myself today to see if I still feel. I focus on the pain, the only thing that's real. You can't really foresee them scoring 14 straight. The old familiar sting, try to kill it.
Oh, an onside kick. Northwestern is on it. At the 45, Scott Frost going for the mortal blow in this game, and now Northwestern has a short field.
I don't know about that. Bill Bush, right there, special teams coach. That may be something that is called if you get the look. Right, that's usually how that works, is if you get the look, you're going to dial it up. If not, then you go ahead and kick it away with tremendous awareness. And when you're doing that to a running back, I don't know if I love that call right there.
I will let you down. I will make you hurt.
It's the Connor Happer Show with Connor Happer and Josh Odson.
And here we go on a Monday, the Monday after. Connor Happer, Josh Odson with you on the Connor Happer Show, 1620 The Zone and 1620thezone.com. Jeez, Josh, somber.
Look, the lyrics fit perfectly. It's not my fault.
People forget you have your Iowa Western shirt on. They won, so
46-0. Haven't allowed a point all year.
That's what Cody tweeted in us right away. He's like, yeah, well, I don't know what this opens for. Iowa Western won 46-0. We're reverse guys now.
Plenty of room on the bandwagon.
We'll take your thoughts all show long, as we do at Happer Show on the JTech Construction Zone Twitter feed, also at Connor Happer on Twitter there too. You can email Connor at 6020thezone.com on the Equitable Bank inbox, or of course, call in 402-951-1620. You can also text that number. Man, where do you start? Oh, look, a call right away. Perfect. It didn't feel the same for a while. And there was a confidence, and you sort of felt like Nebraska was able. By the way, Nebraska lost on Saturday. I don't know if you guys heard. They lost 31-28 to Northwestern over there in Ireland. Then they had the long trek back, and I believe arrived back at the stadium this morning. Didn't feel the same for a while, and you had a couple things not go your way. You were able to sort of recover from one of a good start to the second half. Obviously, the fumble, that didn't really seem like a fumble to me, especially on replay. Maybe there wasn't enough to overturn it. They just, the ball was guarded enough by human bodies. And the mark of this game, and now the mark of everybody else around the country talking about Nebraska. I mean, this is there of course are positives in theory to Nebraska playing a showcase game in week 0 overseas, and the only game in week 0 that mattered. We said the same thing going into last year against Illinois, except for, of course, it wasn't overseas. Although it was supposed to be. You play a showcase game in week 0, so everybody's watching you, or the world of college football is watching. If you are just a generic college football fan, you're dying for some football, and so you'll watch Nebraska and you'll watch Northwestern with the eye of, hey, you know what? Nebraska's been this team that has been really pretty easy to make fun of over the last couple of years, and maybe to those people who hadn't watched them that much, they'd say, man, this is kind of this looks a little bit different in the first half. Casey Thompson's rolling. He's making good throws. We'll have, the full thoughts on him as we go on throughout the show. and Nebraska is able to jump out to a 28-17 lead. 28 as well as a 14-3 lead, by the way, but two separate 11-point leads in the game against Northwestern. I don't know. You could bring up any game from the last 4 years. Honestly, a lot of people brought up a different game from the Scott Frost era. I thought back to last year and the very last game that Nebraska played against Iowa, when you were up 21-9, and now that wasn't as self-inflicted from a play calling standpoint or from a here's what we're gonna do standpoint. Of course, the attempt was to punt it. In this case, Northwestern just waited long enough, and Nebraska did it to themselves again. It's for a variety. I mean, for so many different reasons. I mean, this is my first sort of crack at this in listening to sort of all the reaction over the weekend. But the feel of that call almost 2 full days later now to sit on that with the onside kick. And, you know, if you jump inside Scott Frost's head, obviously he's thinking, hey, we want to seize momentum. We want to end the game. He's got to know his team better. I mean, we know it, and even this is the mentality, this is the feel within the fan base, and I would assume that it creeps into the team a little bit. Although we were making this sort of argument throughout the last couple of weeks and months, hey, maybe there's a fresh feeling. So when Nebraska's back is up against the wall, they won't feel this sort of tightness and pressure. But Brock Heward mentioned it during the broadcast, and you could just see it. Everything got frantic.
Casey was feeling that midway through the third quarter when they were still playing with a lead.
Everything got frantic. Everything got rushed. Everybody tightened up. Passes were dropped. And then when stuff isn't going your way, who are you? What do you do? And Nebraska doesn't have the ability to run the ball conventionally or consistently right now. And we'll, of course, talk about that piece of it as well. But I mean, the thing that I think is startling the most about the choice to kick the onside kick is that we knew all that. We knew all that going into the game. How are you going to react? And I don't think the coaching staff knew. You heard it the week leading up and the month leading up. I'm curious to see, you know, there's a sense of, I feel good about our preparation. I feel good about what we've done. I feel good about the pieces that we have put in place here. But man, you just don't know until it happens, until the bullets start coming at you. And it got real there after that onside kick. So to put your team in that position, and maybe Northwestern drives down the entire field anyway and does the job, and they finish it off. But instead of, you know, that drive in particular to make a 28-24 game, but instead of having to go 80 yards, 75 yards, Northwestern punches it in 5 plays and 44 yards in just a minute 16 seconds. After that, Nebraska on the offensive side of the ball, of course, they did not score the remainder of the game, goes punt, 3 plays punt, 3 plays punt, 6 plays interception, 4 plays punt, 3 plays punt, 4 plays interception. It just wilted again. And that was one of the things we were looking for, of course, you know, to hey, does this part of it go away when they sort of face some adversity? But in this case, it was adversity that they didn't really have to confront at the moment. And this is the report. This is the scout on Nebraska. Everybody's known it for years now. If you're down, just hang in there. Iowa knows it. Northwestern now knows it. Northwestern now is an understand. They've understood this twice in the Scott Frost era, in 2018 and here, and a little bit, I guess, in 2020.
I mean, the broadcasters on television are seeing it. They're like, they said it numerous times. Pat Fitzgerald is daring Scott Frost to win this game, and he isn't doing it.
If you hang in there long enough, Nebraska as a team will do something, and that will allow you from some shred of hope. And by the way, I mean, this is a football thing, and there's plenty of football things to talk about. They got to be able to run the ball better. They got to figure that part of it out. They got to be able to stop the run better. Those backs are good. The Northwestern has. They're gonna have to do that a little bit better. That's obviously the most alarming thing from a football perspective that comes out of this. Nebraska getting sort of manhandled in the trenches, and a couple nice individual plays by Grant is the difference between 110-yard day on the ground and I don't know, maybe a 60-70-yard day on the ground against Northwestern, the team you ran all over last year with ease. But this is a mental deal. This is a mental deal. And Nebraska put itself in position to have that exposed again, and it came through quickly, and that's just the beginning of it. So want to hear from you guys, like I said, on the show today. Let's head straight to the phones. Let's go to Justin here. Hey Justin, what's going on? Justin, turn your radio down.
Hello.
Hey, what's up?
Hey, how you doing?
I'm good.
Yeah, I mean, first I wanted to just touch on the offense a little bit. So when we're trying to run right up the middle and it's just getting stuff play after play, at what point do you begin to adjust? We had a couple zone reads that ended up working towards the outside, and then you don't go back to it whatsoever. Keep trying to be stubborn, Scott Frost, and keep running up the middle. But at the end of the day, we know how incompetent our offense has been the last 3 years, so that's not really what I'm going to harp on. The defense, I mean, what in the Lord's name are they doing out there? Eric Chenander should be embarrassed from the game he called. I mean, you go from what you did the last 3 years building up to be a pretty good defense to throwing out that performance. So once again, at what point do you make an adjustment? You're getting gouged for 5, 10, 15, 20, throwing all over the yard wherever they want. So worst case scenario, you make an adjustment, you bring a blitz, you bring 6, 7. What's the worst case scenario that happens? You get gouged like you've been getting gouged the whole day. It just makes zero sense how you sit there the whole game and not make one real adjustment. And then on top of it, how does Mike Dawson have a job still? This guy is absolutely terrible. Our D-line was terrible when he first got here. Yodi takes over. What do you know? Our D-line has been pretty solid the last couple of years. We're going into this year, we're supposed to have the most talent we've ever had at defensive end. That was non-existent. O'Shawn Mathis, are you kidding me? Why did we recruit him to come and do what? Be a no-name? You didn't even hear him called the whole time. It makes zero sense, the development around here, and how more people don't talk about Mike Dawson and how he shouldn't have a job. I mean, I could go on and on, but that's what I got for you, fellas.
Thanks, Justin. Appreciate the call. Yeah, there's a lot to look at, obviously. Man, I think there was probably a little bit. Look, and once again, we heard the sentiment throughout the week. I'll get to a couple tweets here too coming up. But the sentiment leading into it that I got from Eric Chenander, and if we're just exclusively looking at the defensive side of the ball, is that they were going to, look at the talent that they have, look at what they have on the defensive line in particular, I guess on the interior, we should say. And the expectation is for those guys to hold up as much as they possibly can and allow those good linebackers to be freed up to go out and make plays. And I think there was probably a little bit of an overshot on what you have specifically there, and or maybe it was just a bad day from Nick Henrich. Maybe it was just a bad day, and Reimer was a little bit better, I think, although he was banged up during the game. And then he comes out and you go straight down to Ernest Hausman. And, Like, I think Ernest Hausman's going to have a bright future at Nebraska, but that's a tough spot for him to be in. And those outside linebackers trying to rush the passer against their offensive line. Now they got the ball out quick. Northwestern got the ball out quick because they had a sense, right? Well, that's where their strength is, right? So they're gonna bring some guys off the edge. Nelson against Skronsky was a mismatch. And then not much going on the other side either. So, I mean, you're gonna have to now go back to the drawing board a little bit on how you sort of orient the defense and what you think you can be good at, or find out specifically where your strengths lie, and then call a defense based off of that. And I think, like I said, there was maybe a little bit of leading into the game. Yeah, this is what I think we are, and we're going to call it this way. Well, now you know. Now you've played a game. And this has been a complaint over however many years now. They like that soft coverage on the wide receivers, and they'll sort of allow them to kind of take the layups and dink and dunk, or whatever you want to call it, down the field, and then hold up late. Well, that works as long as you're not busting. They busted a couple times as well. The tackling was shoddy. You at the very least got to clean that piece of it up. I think there's some things to work with on the defensive side of the ball, just as there is on the offensive side of the ball. There's some stuff to work with there, but this is the challenge that Nebraska had in front of it leading into this game. There are so many new pieces on each side of the ball that it's somewhat of a guessing game leading into that first game. What are we going to be? And you don't really know. I mean, this is the challenge in general of building a team that has to come together really quick, which is patched by a whole bunch of guys from the transfer portals, and then young guys who have made their way up through that defense. We probably overshot a little bit how good Nebraska's defense was going to be this year. That's not saying they can't get better, because I really think there's some pieces there to work with, and the problem is they have to sort of gel together at this point. But man, it was a frustrating day to start for many, many different reasons. All right, back to the phones. We got Ted on the line. Hey, Ted.
Yeah, I just want to comment on your selection of song to begin the program.
Please do.
I think it's absolutely appropriate. I don't know if you know Johnny put that album together when he was dying from cancer, and I think it's absolutely appropriate when you look at the sideline and our head coach. There's something seriously wrong there, and it's between his ears. And our football team basically plays out what they see from their coach. And I was fully supportive of this guy when he came. I was kind of a diehard hanger on the end of last year, and I am no longer there at all. I am all for him being gone ASAP. And I know that won't happen because we would have to pay him. If we let him play out the rest of the year, we don't have to pay him as much.
Right.
But great song. And exactly, it's the mental state of our team, but it's reflected by our head coach.
Thanks,
so
Ted.
With that, I'll shut up.
Appreciate it. All the credit to Josh Hudson on the selection there. Nice.
Flattery will get you everywhere, Ted.
Yes. Congratulations, you've won a prize. Football, and calling a football game, and what you decide to do is based on so many different factors, and emotion is one of them. And I feel like some of the time, maybe that takes some precedence over whatever else there is. There is, game time and situation. There is what you think of your team. Who is this team? Are they going to be able to handle this? I mean, all of those things get baked into the cake of what do we decide to do and how do we decide to play a football game. And in order to do that, you have to have a really, really good feeling of what they can handle. And so to go and call that at that moment, and I got some audio here. We'll hear from Frost from after the game as we go on throughout the show. But obviously, he felt like they could just end the game right there. You know what? Let's just play it right off the bat here. Here's Scott Frost on the onside call.
Yeah, in hindsight, didn't work. So anytime something doesn't work, you want it back. We've been talking to the kids about being aggressive and attacking this thing for weeks, and I think they did that. Part of it was we had a couple things that we wanted to be aggressive on. We had one earlier that we wanted to see if we got the look we wanted, and we got a look is really good for it. And I made that call, so that's on me. At that point in the game, I thought all the momentum was on our side. I thought if we got it, we could end the game. The way we were playing, I felt at that point like we had a really good chance of winning the game, and I felt like maybe we were the better team. And you can't really foresee them scoring 14 straight and us sputtering after we'd played well to start the second half on offense. So again, those are excuses. If I had it over, I wouldn't make the call.
So you see what I'm saying? Later on in this press conference, Scott Frost talks about how the offense, and we'll play it later, but because when we talk about it specifically, he talks about how we feel like I've been around this league for a few years, and I think you got to have some creativity to win on offense. You've been around this league for a few years. That the Big Ten, and specifically the Big Ten West, I mean, I'm talking about the Big Ten basically outside of Ohio State, because they don't play sort of the same game that the rest of the teams in the Big Ten do. The Big Ten, and specifically the Big Ten West. He talks about going out and grabbing it. And I understand. And once again, emotion. I felt like we can go out and just win the game right there. The Big Ten West is about not losing more than it is about going to grab it and win it. It's about not losing. And so we get a tweet here from Kevin who says, to be fair, could you provide when would have been a good opportunity to try an onside kick? Give a scenario. I actually think it was a good opportunity to do that. He says, with that being said, I've been off the Frost train for about 3 years. Just like you're playing in these games. We've been through it a million times. And it's hard. You have to separate yourself from it as much as possible. It's been one of my chief complaints over the last 4 years. We've talked about it a million times. It just feels like everything sort of happens in a vacuum to them. All right, let's go get this onside kick and we could just finish the game. And we could just win the game. And yeah, absolutely. You feel great about it if they get it. But having the experience of the last 4 years and looking back at how games have been won and lost for Nebraska, these games are about not screwing up. These games are about not losing. So kicking it, dribbling it to the guy who's 10 yards in front of you and giving them a 44-yard field to work with is not the way you do it. It's not the way you do it for a variety of different reasons, as I've explained during this. It's that is the emotional side of it, and that piece has taken center stage a lot, and you almost feel that sort of pressure, really build up to that moment. But you make them go the field, and you make them take it because you have an 11-point lead. That's it. I mean, I don't know, I don't think it was a great opportunity for an onside kick. It was a great opportunity to surprise them. But look at these teams that you're going to be playing. Northwestern is one of them. Iowa's one of them. Wisconsin's one of them. Minnesota's one of them. They just don't screw up. They know who they are, and they don't mess up. And that's why you see these interdivision games go back and forth every single year. And yeah, is it possible that Nebraska could put a game together and make outstanding plays seemingly at every turn? That's when you get 56-7, which is what it was last year when Northwestern came to Lincoln. And they just rode that high the entire game, and they took off and ran and didn't look back. Those will happen from time to time. And I like, we can focus. We're going to talk about the onside kick. Obviously, Jamie writes in the onside kick didn't lose the game. That's a naive take. I mean, yeah, they already blew an 11-point lead. But what I'm saying is, like, listen to that quote from Frost. And he thought, according to what he said, that it was unfathomable. He didn't say the word exactly, but he thought it was unlikely that Northwestern, after getting the short field down by 11, would go rip off 2 touchdowns in a row.
No, there's no way they score 14
That
points.
can't happen, right? Are you kidding me?
Couldn't
Have we
possibly.
watched any of the 45 games? So, yeah, I mean, forgive me for going back to the onside kick. The thing that everybody is blasting Nebraska for today. Yes, it's a lot of different things, and Nebraska's got a lot of stuff to work on, and the defensive line, and you can't run the ball, and all of that stuff. Yes, that's what's going to lose Nebraska the majority of their games this year if they play like that again. It's not going to be an onside kick, but it's just to do that in that moment. Pretty shocking, pretty surprising. Let's go to Gary from New Jersey. Hey, Gary, what's up?
Hey, guys, how are you?
Good.
Here's a question with a Jersey slant. Watching that offense for the last 2.5 quarters, could one of you guys put this coach on the spot at the press conference, not that you're going to get an answer, and ask him where Ramir Johnson was?
Yeah, that's going to be a
I
question.
got to believe Ramir Johnson could have helped this offense.
Yeah. Hey, Gary, that's going to be a question for sure. That's not just a Jersey guy talking about the Jersey guy. That's going to be a real question that pops up tomorrow for sure.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate it. Have a good day.
Thanks, Gary. Appreciate it. Oh, yeah. That hasn't gone away. The sort of baffling personnel decisions. Ramir Johnson, a guy who became the guy that Nebraska could trust down the stretch last year when all the other stuff and all the other people went haywire, whether it's injuries or whatever else. Ramir Johnson sort of became the one guy that's like, you know what, if we got the ball in this guy's hands, maybe nothing spectacular is going to happen, but nothing disastrous is going to happen. Right? And
that's why we liked Casey at quarterback.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because he was steady.
He's solid.
Mm-hmm.
And we didn't see him on offense. He was the gunner for a couple punts. He was the first guy there on a couple fair catches. Frost actually was after the game asked about Ramir, and he was like, "Yeah, it was, we had some stuff. There just wasn't really an opportunity." Look, this is the big picture, and Joel, you do a good job here of sort of summing it up on the JTech Construction Zone Twitter feed. Joel says Frost can only look ahead to the next 5 minutes instead of the big picture. It's always about hitting specific plays instead of putting a drive together or executing a game plan over 60 minutes. You got to play 60 to win, man. Like that sounds obvious, but that's always how it's felt here. That's always how it's felt. And I'm disappointed to see that not change in game one, especially when you have Frost, who is not buried in his play sheet. Obviously, he has an impact on what happens, but he's not buried in his play sheet, and he's allowed to see the game and see the world from more of a 40,000-foot view. And it only works if you take the opportunity to do so. And I sort of thought over the summer, hey, if it's bought into, if they do it right, then this really could go. This could really work. But that's it. Joel, I think you nailed it. summing it up in a 140 character tweet or whatever the character limit now is on Twitter, 280, I guess. But it just feels like every, one thing here can win us the game. One thing here can win us the game. One thing here can get us a first down. One thing here can, get us a sack and a turnover. And the past 4+ years now have been a mission to find that one thing at a time and then see where the results may fall after that. Winning the play, right? Sometimes, and look at the Big Ten West. As I just said, it's not about winning. It's about not losing. Sometimes punting isn't the worst thing. This is from a general standpoint. Sometimes punting isn't the worst thing in the world. Sometimes not having it work, sometimes setting something up is not the worst thing in the world. You have to take the L's with the W's. And I just think a lot of the time they're trying to get so many of those wins on an individual and in hope that it counts up at the end of the game to a win on the field. And I think that was a pretty good illustration of it on Saturday. That and a lot of other things. And then Nebraska can be up in a football game. They could be up 28-24. They could be up 28-17 before the onside kick felt pretty good. But 28-24, and it's just walls are closing in. Walls are closing in. And that's a feeling that Nebraska hasn't been able to shake either. All right. Tweets, texts, many things coming up. We're wide open today. We'll take calls. Russ, hang on the line. Whoever's calling here, hang on the line too. We'll be back and more up next here on the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone.
Previously on Unsportsmanlike Conduct.
So it is just like Severe says. It's just a walking move.
They SEAL Team 6 into Mountain Dew.
What kind of an action-adventure story is this? You don't meander into the breach.
Well,
you attack the breach. You charge into the breach. What a dumb story this is.
It's Frodo. Imagine Nick trying to go into like a really protected area.
Again,
Nick,
Unsportsmanlike Conduct with John Bishop and Josh Peterson. Weekdays 2 to 6 on 1620 The Zone. Your Omaha area forecast from the Godfather's Pizza Weather Center and KETV Newswatch 7 on 1620 The Zone.
After a slight chance of showers and storms this morning, we'll see morning clouds give way to afternoon sun. Still staying warm today, a high of 86 in Omaha. Low humidity, be comfortable with winds out of the north, 5 to 10 miles an hour. Clear skies tonight and cooler, a low near 60. I'm meteorologist Caitlin Harvey with KETV Newswatch 7.
The Connor Happer Show returns in minutes on 1620 The Zone.
Make the right call, fans. The rooferees at John Higgins Weather Guard.
It's time to find a career that's right for you. Metropolitan Community College can help you find a new path forward on your time. Whether you need a degree that puts you on a path to a new career or need to finish a degree you've already started, MCC makes it affordable and convenient with a flexible class schedule, online or on campus. It's your time to path forward. Let MCC show you the way. Register today. Classes start September 6th. Apply today at mccneb.edu/adults.
It happens every day and homeowners are victims every time, unless they call us. Hi, this is Garen Armstrong with Shamrock Roofing. Recently, a local homeowner with an aging roof had 2 well-known roofing companies out. Neither found hail damage for an insurance claim, but both happily submitted bids for a new roof. Then the homeowner called Shamrock Roofing. We found significant hail damage and sat with the homeowner when he filed his claim. We were there again when the insurance adjuster came out. And when the insurance company tried to deny the claim, the homeowner appealed with his evidence from Shamrock. The insurance company then approved the full claim for a new roof. Shamrock Roofing helped the homeowner get his roof when the other roofing companies could not. That is exactly why we say call Shamrock Roofing first, especially if you're wondering about possible wind or hail damage. If you have it, we'll find it. One call does it all. Call Shamrock Roofing today or find us online at shamrockroofer.com.
This is Darcy with Dingman's Collision Center. We have run our business for years by helping the vehicle owner retain the value of their vehicle by working for them with warranted, safe, high-standard repairs. For this reason, Omaha vehicle owners have chosen Dingman's to repair their vehicles. Your loyalty has been shown through repeat business and amazing referrals. You've also voted us first place Best of Omaha for the past 17 years. We want to say thank you for choosing the Dingman family and our incredible technicians to repair your vehicles. At Dingman's, we'd rather be the best than apologize for anything less.
Dak Prescott here. Why do I choose proven quality sleep from Sleep Number? Because better sleep elevates my game. Only my Sleep Number 360 smart bed helps me fall asleep faster, keeps me cool, and effortlessly adjusts for my best sleep. The result? 28 minutes more restful sleep a night. That's more focus, more edge, and more highlights. And that means more wins for all of us.
Save 50% on the Sleep Number 360 limited edition smart bed plus free delivery when you add a base. Ends Labor Day. To learn more, go to sleepnumber.com. Sleep Number, the official sleep and wellness partner of the NFL.
Are you a self-proclaimed introvert?
Oh, 100%.
You'll love Bite. You can align your teeth with confidence without ever having to leave your home.
No dentist visits?
Not when you order clear teeth aligners from Bite.com. That's BYTE.com. Bite's at-home treatment plans are doctor-directed and start as low as $82 a month. Order your at-home impression kit for just $14.95. That's over 80% off. Just visit Bite.com. That's BYTE.com. Start your clear aligner journey with Bite.
Sharp and Betting in the Morning is back on the road each home game Friday at our good friends Jones Bros Cupcakes and Cafe in Exarban Village, breaking down the big games and the Husker game. Each home game Friday, $6 breakfast entrees. We are there doing the show at Exarban Village. First 20 people that come in and mention 1620 The Zone get breakfast free during the shows. Again, $6 breakfast when we are there at Jones Bros Cupcakes and Cafe. Plus, you can register, win tickets and prizes each home game Friday. Sharp and Betting in the Morning on the road at Jones Bros Cupcakes and Cafe.
Equitable Bank. We take banking personally. EquitableOnline.com.
Let's get back to the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone.
Here comes the clown.
All right, welcome back. We're the Connor Happer Show, 1620 The Zone, 1620thezone.com. 48 hours nearly removed from a season-opening loss. Nebraska's 0-1. They play North Dakota on Saturday. Georgia Southern, Oklahoma. We'll talk a little bit later on in the show why the Oklahoma game now becomes real big. But you guys already knew that. All right. Back to the phones. We have Russ in Virginia. Russ, what's going on?
Hey, good morning, guys. I'm calling from Virginia. I drank the Kool-Aid, unfortunately.
As we do.
Started the Virginians for Nebraska Football Alumni Club. It didn't. It's rapidly deteriorating. But when the program early morning was called Severe Inventing, I called in with this question. I'd really like this one discussed if you feel free. Did Bill Mose unknowingly hire a Bart Starr? And by that, Starr was a great quarterback, but look what he did to the Pack. I'll hang up and listen. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Russ. Appreciate it. Excuse me?
Poll question?
What?
Bart Starr was not known for his coaching acumen after his playing career.
Yeah. No, yeah. No, I mean, the thought was that this guy could coach. And I think there have been lessons learned along the way. Now, was that a thought going into it when I don't know, when they hired Bart Starr? Was that the thought going into it of like, what are we doing here? Because the thought was Scott Frost is like, well, we did not just hire him because he won a national championship at quarterback here. He just so happened to, have an undefeated season last year.
Immediately following his retirement as a player, Starr served as the Packers quarterbacks coach.
Got it. Yeah, no, never mind then. Different. No, man. They had one of the most, not only an undefeated season at UCF, but one of the more magnetic teams in the country, right? I love what you're doing. I love what you're about. I love where you're doing it, how you're doing it. and who you're doing it against. Like that, you know what I mean? They were a magnetic team, and he was a magnetic guy. And the thought was, let's just take that and let's put that up here and see how it goes. And there have been some lessons to be learned along the way. And things have gone haywire a whole lot. But no, I mean, I still do want to see this program when it has a little bit of confidence. But the problem is, I just think that ship has sort of sailed now.
Let me throw this one in. This is one of the questions we're definitely going to get to today. If this game takes place in America in week 6, week 8, do you think it plays out the same?
I don't know. Are like, who do they have to open? You know,
Sure. How much of a ramp do they have to
right? Because
build some
hey,
confidence?
back to the emotion thing. Like Frost talks about it a lot and probably too much, but that matters. It's not an excuse to be at the point that they're at right now. You get what you get on the schedule. Now, of course, you didn't have to play it in Ireland, but that's not an excuse for losing this game. They had 75% of the fans on their side.
Sure.
So I don't know. I don't think so, I guess.
Okay.
Back to the phones, Deacon in Houston. Look, we are a national radio show. Are we being syndicated somewhere today?
Must be.
The 1620 The Zone app. That's where. Deacon's on the line. Hey, Deacon. Deacon!
No, I had to listen in after watching the game. I got to tell you, dude, I just when college football ends, man, I'm waiting 8 months till it starts again. And just as a neutral observer, the Nebraska Northwestern game did not disappoint for an opening weekend. But just some observations from it. I know everybody's focusing in on that onside kick thing, and my deal is this. Everyone's going to say, well, it's 10 plays that could have lost you the game. It's this, and okay, that's all fine. Here's the problem, dude. When you've got a coach with the experience that Scott Frost has, going on almost a decade now as a head coach, whatever, 3 years at UCF, 4th, 5th year at Nebraska, when you've got a coach that makes bad decisions in important spots in games this late in his career, that's just a problem on its own. All the execution in the world, any superstar plays from, I saw Casey Thompson I watch all the Longhorn games, you know? So, but here's the thing, man. If your coach is making bad decisions, I don't care. You guys are in the Big Ten, man. You're going to play in big games against tough opponents and have big spots all year long against Ohio State, Michigan, Wisconsin. If your head coach makes decisions like that in those moments, that's a problem. Like I said, I'm from Houston. Do you guys remember a couple of years ago, Bill O'Brien in the AFC playoffs against Kansas City? He was up by like 21 on a 4th and 8 or something. He goes for a fake punt.
Yep.
Like, when your coach is an idiot and makes bad play calls in bad spots, the best execution, the best recruiting, the best player development in the world won't overcome that. So, but anyways, man, I'm just enjoying the conversation, and I'll keep listening. You guys have a good day.
Well, thanks for tuning in, Deacon. We appreciate it. Yeah, no, it's good. That's actually good context there to bring up, or a good anecdote, I suppose. Look, man, it's all got to be there. And in the Big Ten West, in particular, all these other schools, it's another year we're gonna keep harping on this. I feel like a freaking broken record. It sucks, but these programs know exactly who they are and exactly what they're going to do, to the point where the coach barely even has to make coaching decisions. Because you know exactly what they're like. You can't be a wild card in coach football, right?
Exception that proves the rule, Mike Leach.
But we know what they are. We know what his teams are. His teams have an identity. He's a wild card in what he says, I suppose, but we know he's a wild card. This should all be, it should be predictable. That's an identity. That's who you are. Nebraska's attempted identities. They've changed identities. They've attempted different ones over the last couple of years. And then you just, from a coaching perspective, it feels like, they feel like they're trying to play catch up and, do this here, do this there, and this will win us this. And, this'll finally be the day. This will be the thing that gets this entire thing moving in the right direction. There's pressure that comes along with that. There's just so much to that conversation. So no, it's not just the onside kick. It's not just the choice to do the onside kick. JD had an interesting tweet. He tweets into the show, Iowa JD, by the way, at Connor Happer. On the JTech Instructions on Twitter feed, Connor, do you really believe Frost called the onside kick? If so, why did Bill Bush go to his kicker and say, what the hell was that? Do you think Frost fell on the sword for both Bush and the kicker? Did he call it without telling his coordinator? Well, I'm going to take Frost at his word. I don't know. He doesn't seem like one to fall on the sword. Is that fair? He doesn't seem like a guy who would necessarily fall on the sword. Personally, that's just my sort of interpretation of Scott Frost. I did watch that again last night just to see the whole lead up to it. And I wanted to see if they had a camera shot of like Frost right before it to see if he was like running down the sideline saying anything or anything like that. But they didn't. They were showing, I don't know. They were showing somebody else, Casey Thompson or something like that. But yeah, they did walk. Frankie walked off and Bill Bush went up to him and said something. And it was sort of just like a shake of the head. And then they, Northwestern punched it in 4 plays later. It's frustrating from a lot of different angles. Scott tweets in, he says, the worst part of that onside was Frost was always crying about breaks of momentum. The offense just scored twice. The defense was clicking a bit, got a turnover off of what would have been a huge play. And Frost decided to put the team in the worst position. And that's in essence, my sort of read on it. Right. Also, this is fair too, but this is what we do here on Monday mornings and all throughout the week here on 1620 The Zone. Todd emails in the Equitable Banking box. It says Monday morning quarterback is easy, isn't it? Sure is.
Sure is.
Yeah, it's easy to say this is what you should have done. That's for sure. But I don't know. I'm just a big, like, for all the reasons I said, and we have, you're right, Todd, we have the benefit of hindsight. We have the benefit to not have the emotion really be a part of it. Yes, we can be emotional as fans, but I understand the pull to that when you are standing on the sideline and when you are running out of time. When your buyout goes down in a few weeks and you're 15-29 and you need this win so badly that you just want to have it now. You want to have it in your hands. I understand the pull and emotion toward that. And we have the benefit outside of it, watching it on TV or watching it in the stadium. We'll get to that later, by the way, too. Of not having as much emotion or pressure and pull. But I just think with all the things, and like I said, it makes it so crazy because Frost talked about, his experience in this league. I don't know what anybody else's read could be on the Big Ten West other than you just can't lose, especially this program. So giving yourself an opportunity, in a position where you're likely not going to get it back, at least in that moment, and then it closes it up to a 4-point game. That's just a situation that I don't want to put myself in. That's all. And it doesn't have to be all about that. Like I said, there's a lot. Like what Rich will have here. Rich, what's going on?
Hey guys, great show this morning, and all the points that are being brought up make a lot of sense. It's a combined reason set for why we lost. What I haven't heard so far, and maybe I missed it, is just the drop passes.
Yep.
Lewer and Martin, not to call those guys out because they weren't the only ones that dropped passes, but the resulting interceptions weren't, what I saw anyway, Casey's fault. I thought he threw the ball well, and our receivers just couldn't hold on to it.
I agree.
And that's a big part of it.
Yeah, Rich, thanks for the call. I thought, we'll get to Casey by himself a little bit later because I actually thought he was pretty dang good. The Lever one, I mean, yeah, it's a little bit behind him, came in a little too hot, but then we go back to asking the question of why he's the guy there, and the path looked a little bleak for Nebraska at that point, just because we had seen him in so many of those positions. But they had about 4 minutes or so when that drive started. You're like, man, I've really seen this attempt before. They're gonna try and go the whole field and take the lead. Well, we'll see if Casey Thompson has it. And it took 4 plays for the ball to go off somebody's hand and tipped up and intercepted. Oliver Martin's got to go for that ball. The other one that was intercepted, I mean, maybe he didn't expect it as fast or what the miscommunication was, but he doesn't ever, he rarely sort of seems to be on the same page maybe as everybody else. And it's abundantly clear that Nebraska can't go very far down the line in that wide receiver room without it getting a little bit scary. I think Palmer's pretty good. At least, I mean, from an athletic standpoint, he made a couple really, really great plays. Really, their last first down in the game, I think, on the play that looked like it was going to be dead in the back of the in the end zone or close to Nebraska's end zone. You're like, oof, he needs to make a move here, and he did. Marcus Washington was a little quieter than I think I expected him to be, and Garcia Castaneda had a couple, had a few really, really big catches. And what else does Nebraska have outside of that? I think Belt is pretty good. Didn't see any Ramir Johnson. Obviously, they used Brody Bell had a couple of those plays in a row, but just that receiver room just doesn't go that deep. So looking forward, by the way, I mean, think about it this way. Unless they figure out how to consistently and conventionally run the football with their running backs, meaning their offensive line gels together and they get after guys and all that stuff, unless they do that, and that becomes a quick fix, and maybe it does with some lighter opponents over the next 2 weeks, you would assume that they're really going to try and grind out North Dakota this week. But unless that happens and it changes drastically, Nebraska is going to throw it that many times, at least, maybe more, with a small wide receiver room, in terms of guys that can help you and make plays. It's just you're hanging right on that edge. You're hanging right on that edge. Maybe that's the team that Nebraska becomes this year. I certainly don't want to see him sit there and ram it into the wall 500 times, but they got to be better at doing that part of the game. All right, 402-951-1620. We have several more calls here that we need to get to. Vince, Russ, hang on the line. We're going to take a quick break. We get a tweet here from the amazing Daniel. He says, I hate the Monday morning quarterback line about this. If you asked me before the kick, I promise I would have told you an onside is a terrible idea. It could have cost us the game. Even if we got it, I'd say it was probably an unnecessary risk and a bad idea. Yeah. Once again, it doesn't have to be all about the onside kick, but yeah, it is nice to have hindsight. I will admit that. To go back to the email from Todd. All right, callers, Russ and Rick, hang on the line. We'll be back with more on 1620 The Zone.
After Nebraska plays on Saturday, you'll wake up on Sunday morning with a severe reaction. Michael Severe returns to 1620 The Zone, and he won't hold back about what went right and what went wrong during the game. He'll also take calls from the most important voice of all, yours, Severe Reaction. Sundays from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m., powered by Equitable Bank. We take banking personally, only on 1620 The Zone.
College football is in full swing this week, and FanDuel wants you to be ready for game day when college football kicks off all the way. Right now, new customers can get $150 in free bets guaranteed for week one. Just place a $5 bet, and you can get $150 in free bets, win or lose. You can bet college football any way you'd like. Take a look at all the big games this weekend. We have Oregon and Georgia. We have Notre Dame, Ohio State. Jump in on one of those same game parlays as well. The options are endless, and if you've been thinking about joining FanDuel, now is the perfect time. Right at the start of football season, the app, easy to use, and when you win, you get paid fast. So see for yourself why FanDuel is America's #1 sportsbook. Download the FanDuel app today and sign up with promo code HAPPER, HAPPER, and place a $5 bet to get $150 in free bets guaranteed to kick off the college football season with promo code HAPPER. 21 plus, present in Iowa. First online real money wager only. $10 first deposit required. Bonus issued with knowledgeable free bets that expire 14 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-BETS-OFF.
Hi, guys. It's Andrew with Brookside Medical Clinic. Is erectile dysfunction damaging your relationship? Are you sick of the pill and all the side effects? Well, welcome to the future. We have a major medical breakthrough. Brookside Medical Clinic uses the most advanced form of wave therapy. Backed by 60 clinical studies, our technology uses pressure waves to repair and open up blood vessels. We've helped countless men get rid of their ED. But what is the true end result? Their relationship, even their lives, improve drastically. If you're ready to regain your love life, call us right now, and not only will the assessment and ultrasound be free, we'll also give you a gift that produces immediate results in the bedroom. It almost never fails. This is worth $550, and it's free to callers right now. 402-671-7777. That's 402-671-7777. Put a stop to your erectile dysfunction and experience what I call the happiness ripple effect. Call Brookside Medical Clinic now. 402-671-7777.
I always wanted to learn Spanish, but I never thought I'd have the time. Then I discovered Babbel.
Babbel's lessons are fun. They only take like 10 or 15 minutes, and in 3 weeks, presto, you're speaking another language. Like magic.
I love that Babbel's lessons aren't just robots talking. They're voiced by native speakers, so you get the pronunciation just right. And they're designed by real language teachers, so you learn how to have real-world conversations, things you'll actually use.
3 weeks. It's incredible. After 3 weeks, I'm on vacation in Paris, having a conversation in French.
There's all kinds of ways to learn. Use Babbel's podcasts or games or videos. You can even join live classes with a language teacher.
If you want to learn a language, there's no faster, easier, better way than
Babbel.
Babbel.
Babbel. Babbel. Évidemment. Go to Babbel.com to try for free. That's BABBEL.com. Babbel.com.
Ray Magliozzi here for eBay Motors. You're driving along and some nimrod cuts you off. You hit the horn. Jeez, it sounds like a goose in distress. Time to head over to eBay Motors. They have horns for every make and model, not to mention horn pads, steering wheels, wiring, and more. 122 million parts. You can even go for an upgrade. Looks like Mr. Cutoff Man needs a new seat cover. Try eBay Motors, pal. Get the right parts at the right prices. eBay Motors. Let's ride.
Celebrate Septemberfest, Labor Day weekend, September 2nd through the 5th, outside the CHI Center. There are games, carnival rides, and food, plus clowns, robots, and a KCBC barbecue cook-off. Friday, there's Omaha Fight Club, boxing on Saturday, and epic music all weekend long, including Shoot to Thrill on Sunday. Monday, it's the Labor Day Parade through downtown at 10 a.m., along with the All-American Car Show. Septemberfest at CHI Center, Lot D. Click SeptemberFestOmaha.org for times and parking info.
All right, so I updated my spreadsheet with all the numbers from, basically it's just the results spreadsheet. And we talked about it a couple times over the summer about what Nebraska's done as an underdog. Have some additional ones for you as we go on throughout the show today. What they've done as a touchdown or more underdog, or I'm sorry, favorite. Yeah, so we'll have that. Just hang on for that for a couple minutes. We got to get these calls in. We appreciate you guys being a part of the show today in the conversation. Let's go to Russ. Hey, Russ. What's going on?
Hey, Don.
Good.
Yeah, that was an unfortunate decision to go for. I don't know if it was Bush or Frost. Only Frost, or he had the last say so, but it definitely cost us the game. there's no doubt they had all the momentum. That there's no reason to do that. But he's a genius. If it works and they blow him out, then we have a different conversation. I just want to disagree with you a little bit on your wide receiver take there.
Sure.
I think you're a little off on that.
What about? Yeah.
That you're about the depth. I think, you got some big time receivers that they brought in that this is the first game, you got new guys work together, but Trey Palmer, that one.
Yeah, Palmer's good for sure.
But he blew by those two guys. The first guy, that's amazing that the announcer, the ref didn't call that when he kind of overthrew him on that deep ball where he had them by 5-10 yards.
Yeah.
The first guy blew by, grabbed his jersey. That's illegal contact. If the ball's in the air, it's pass interference. If it's not in there yet, that's at least a 5 yards and automatic first down. But I think Garcia Castaneda is a big-time receiver. We lost Vokalek, where he's a tight end. He was a stud. You forgot about Alante Brown, 3 catches, 32 yards. Brody Belt's kind of your glue guy, coming there and had 2 big catches. Marcus Washington's going to be great. And you forgot about Omar Manning, who was hurt with a concussion. So all their freshmen, Grimes, Bonner, Crawford's hurt, and then Baron Miles Jr., those guys might not see the field because we do have so much depth and it's quality depth. So after a loss, we kind of nitpick stuff, but you're missing the boat there. You forgot about Alante Brown and big-time Omar Manning. He is a big-time receiver. You're going to watch this team is going to, with those guys, with the speed of Palmer, Castaneda, the guy's a stud. If we get our line where they're just doing a little better job and giving him all the time back there, that play made where he had to run for his life. We got some big-time receivers, and you're going to see it the rest of the year, I'll guarantee you. If we get Fedoni back and get Vokalek healthy,
for
this
sure.
offense could be really humming, and if we get the defense fixed, there's a lot of season left. We can't, I'm pissed, I'm frustrated, but hey,
yeah, fair enough.
Got to win the next 2, and then you got Oklahoma coming in, and everybody's going to be on. Then there'll be no excuses. That's going to be his opportunity to, if he wants to coach in Nebraska. I think that's the biggest game of his career.
I would tend to agree with that part. Thank you, Russ. Appreciate it. Yeah, we're gonna talk about that a little bit later on. That is now a major game, as if it wasn't before. That could really change the tide here. They better put everything they have into that one on the receivers. Look, Garcia Castaneda, Palmer, certainly good. Washington, I think Marcus Washington, got going early with a catch. Only had 2 catches for 27 yards. Vokalek is obviously a major part of this. Major part of this is when they put in nothing against Borkircher, but when it was him instead of Vokalek, when Vokalek went out with the ankle injury, and he said after the game, "I'm going to be fine." There seems to be some doubt about that. Maybe we find out anything, a little nugget on that tomorrow at the press conference. But there is no doubt that Vokalek is a huge part of this, because he is
literally and figuratively.
Yes, he's a massive human being, and he is their option over the middle of the field. And I probably underestimated how good of a pass catcher he is, because last year he was sort of playing the role a little bit more of with him and Allen. He was the second guy. He was a little bit more of a blocker, and you could use his physicality. But yeah, that guy's pretty talented. He can catch the football too. He probably's got an NFL career in front of him for sure. So is that enough? Alante, he had 3 catches for 32 on Saturday. Brody Belt is a good changeup. We'll see if Omar is going to be. I can't count on Omar unless he's on the field. I love the idea of Omar Manning, but I do think we need to sort of probably remove ourselves from the idea that this guy can be like an 800 to 1,000 yard receiver. I think anything he gives you at this point is positive, because his availability is always seemingly really, really limited. And no, it might not be his fault in this case, but I gotta see some more. I love the talent. But I gotta see a little bit more from that too. And then, but you're at the point. The point still stands. You're at the point later in the game where it's, maybe some guys are tired, or maybe it's, just from what you're trying to do offensively, but you're going with Oliver Martin and Wyatt Lever, and those guys end up, hurting you a little bit. So, I mean, Lever is a guy that we certainly heard more of as camp went on, but we remember the rhetoric that went around that wide receiver spot. Mickey talked about, I want to get 9 that I could play, and then I want to get 6 that I could play. And then it was really down to 3 that got mentioned consistently, including Washington and Palmer. And then it was, Alante Brown, and there was some Castaneda in there too, although I think he was a little bit beat up during camp, but certainly performed on Saturday. So, you just tighten that window, and then you start to hear more of Wyatt Lever, and you're like, well, the thought on Lever, and nothing against him, is, well, we can throw him out there, and we know that he's going to be in the right spot. He's going to do the right things. Is he going to break plays for us? No. But you can't have a guy like that, drop a ball and have it be tipped up, and the worst, as it usually does, seems to bite Nebraska, the worst case scenario. All right. Well, I want to get to those numbers here in just a second, but one more phone call for now. The lines will stay open throughout the show. But let's take a phone call here from Rick. Hey, Rick, what's going on?
Gents, thanks for taking the call.
For sure.
From what I see, Scott's been here going on 5 years. In other parts of the country, they fire coaches when they're 30 and 15, and when they're 15 and 30, we still got them on board. Obviously, there's a connection there with the kid that did a lot for the state with the national championship and all that stuff. But this all goes on Trev Albert's shoulders. He dismantled football and wrestling at UNO. That's a whole different issue. And it was done by the higher ups that did it. But now he's at Nebraska, and he's got to have to make the decision. And I think the Oklahoma game will be the Waterloo for Alberts, whether Frost sticks around or not. Hopefully they can be competitive in the next several games and maybe finish 7-5. That'd probably be a stretch. But Scott has not developed anybody. The running game still isn't there. You've had an exodus of running backs that he recruited take off, and these guys that are coming in, they were obviously unhappy. He's kind of like a garage sale guy. He's picking guys and trying to plug in holes, and they're in a desperate situation. Hopefully Thompson can pan out, and they can, And the other thing that's missing in this, Northwestern did a heck of a job. This coach of theirs, he goes out there and he looks like Superman, and they manage the game well, and he sticks with his players, not plugging in all these guys like they're trying to do at Nebraska. But it's going to be a long season, and I would doubt if Scott lasts the whole season. And I look for Alberts to come up with the Band-Aid and probably plug in Mickey Joseph. Thanks for taking my call. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Rick. Thanks for the call. All right. So this is I guess that's a smooth transition over to the big picture. Which there will be plenty of chatter about today. By the way, it is August 29th. It is August 29th. And I know for a fact that I'm preaching to the choir on this, but that feeling that you had as a fan, and I'm sure that resonates throughout that locker room and in Memorial Stadium. That feeling that you had on Saturday, the feeling that said, it is August 27th, and we got to talk about this and what he has to do to keep his job and how potentially divisive it's going to be and all this big picture stuff and all of the last 4 years. My hope was, and I thought the schedule, you thought that the schedule sort of allowed it. The thought was, I hope this is a long enough runway to where they could feel good about themselves early on, and we don't have to talk about all of this. What does this mean for his job status? If Nebraska's 3-0, we're talking about the best way to beat Oklahoma. How do you win this game? Now, that game takes on a little bit of a different light. It's now, well, I think he's probably going to have to beat Oklahoma to keep his job. Maybe not the immediate. I still doubt he gets fired midseason. Like I said, I've said this before. I just don't think it's Trev's style. But I didn't think they'd lose on Saturday either. So yeah, everything sort of changes and all those conversations get brought to the forefront. It is exhausting It is exhausting. And if you're a younger fan and you're really into it, this is all you know. And if you've been around for a long time and you've been watching the last 20 years now, paying attention the last 20 years now, which if you're listening to this radio show, I'm sure you have, you know it. It is exhausting. Everything that's said, everything that's done, every decision is made is a referendum on the program. And every play that happens in a game does not just happen in a vacuum anymore. It happens with the thought of, well, this is either the same or different than the previous 44, 45 games before it. That is exhausting. We are exhausted. That is the emotion today of the Nebraska football fan base. Like I said, I don't think that Scott Frost is going to get fired midseason. And as far as Trev is concerned, Sipple in his column republished the quote from Trev when he was asked about this. It was late last year when all the changes were made. Trev said this. Here's his expectation, and there's metrics in there too and all that stuff. But this is what is known to us. We want to see a well-coached football team that doesn't quit, that's physical, and in key moments makes the necessary plays to get us over the hump. He said that in Indianapolis. That is Trev Albert's expectation. Trev Alberts looks at this as, this is an us problem. In order for us to compete on the national level or on the Big Ten level or wherever we want to compete, we have to be the best version of us first. That's a part of the reason, ultimately, this in the buyout. That's ultimately why Scott Frost is here right now. Because there was a path, and there is a path to Scott Frost making this Nebraska team the best version of what it could have been, regardless of who they got in the transfer portal, regardless of who they got on the offensive coaching staff, all the changes they made, all that he cares about, and all I think that we should care about is being the best version of Nebraska football that you could possibly be. So is it fun when, Nebraska has two separate leads of 11 points in this game and, has some one self-inflicted mistake and, another fumble, I guess I would be called a self-inflicted mistake. And the pressure just, goes in and in, walls keep closing. It's not fun. That sounds like the same as it has been over the last 4 years. Is that what Trev is looking for? No. Is there an opportunity to fix that? Yes. Yes. Does it seem like the writing is written on the wall now? Yes. Things will soften. There's 2 weeks. Nebraska should and will likely, although I'm less sure, I guess. Nebraska should win their next 2 games, and things will soften just as far as the things that ail them. But yeah, it's all the results are on the table. I mean, from a decision standpoint for Trev, like he positioned himself and he positioned Nebraska from the perspective of, look, we're going to give you this opportunity, but the results are what they are. This has to be done. These are the things I want to see. He's given an opportunity for the story to tell itself. Somebody made this analogy, I think, in one of their columns. But sorry to whichever local writer did. Maybe it was Sam. Maybe it was Chattel or Sipple. But I just talked about the way you play football in the Big Ten West and it being about not losing and how you direct that towards your opponents. Where you say, you know what? We're going to hand the ball to you and you do with it what you will. but we're not going to screw this up.
I think that might have been Sam.
Your pick, heads or tails, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, probably. I mean, isn't that sort of the situation that Trev Alberts has put himself into with Scott Frost? Here's every opportunity in the world to be successful. Go out, get all the coaches you need, whatever you think will work, do it on your terms. But, are they going to do something with it, or are they going to fumble it? And it's a tough ask in a short turnaround, right? Tough ask. We're going to get to Schaeffer in just a couple minutes. Yeah, we will not stop taking calls today. We'll continue taking calls. I lied. I do have the numbers. We can get to those whenever. And plenty of thoughts on Casey Thompson and all the rest. Let's go to Adam. Adam was there first. Hey, Adam.
What's going on, guys? How are you?
Hey, good.
You had a previous caller talking about like plugging holes and all that. That's kind of become the new norm in a lot of college football programs with that transfer portal. You're going to see it all the time. So Nebraska is not the only one doing it. And as irritated as I was Saturday, that caller also made me kind of start like defending. It's the first game. It does suck. But the kids, the second half did suck, but those kids were taking care of business until the stupid onside kick. Yeah. They were doing what they were supposed to do. And then the shenanigan got put, onside kick, defense is in a bind, momentum shifts. It happens. It sucks. It was stupid. They can still have a good year.
They can.
Like you guys said, it's August, 29th. But the dudes, it's funny, the last 3 or 4, other than Riley, because he's always looked that way, the last 2 or 3 coaches that have been the coach here have always looked like they've aged like 10 years and 5 years, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It is an exhausting job. But no, it's college football is going to be this way for a while, where you're going to see things, a transfer come in and like a Russell Wilson and things like that, and have one phenomenal season. I hope they can get it done, and hopefully the kids can learn to win, because that's the biggest issue. They don't know how to win. Not even Casey Thompson. He never had a winning season in high school. He's never had a winning season, but he's got the talent to do it.
Yep, for sure. Thanks, Adam.
Thanks.
It's, so back to the whole, can they still have a good season? And, we got the caller a whole bunch of times, Josh, during the summer of like, hey, you're backing yourself into a hole here. If Nebraska loses this game, what are you talking about? The reason that we said that still stands. And the question that comes out of it is, do you believe that Nebraska has the mental fortitude as a program, from a coaching standpoint, from a player standpoint, to pull itself together to have a good season? And if you told me they lost that game, my answer is no. I'd love to be proved wrong. I really hope they can figure that piece of it out. I just think it's so tricky and so tough, and there's so many dynamics when you talk about, Whipple and Frost and Casey Thompson and everybody else on the offensive side of the ball. I mean, listen to Frost after the game talking about, calling plays and how that works with Whipple.
It's tough for me. I've said this, there's no one way to do things. But I think we can cooperate and a little bit more. Probably the thing that hurt our offense is when we got in situations where we're just running the ball. We weren't efficient enough. And when you gain yards on those plays, it gives you more opportunities to run the stuff that you think could hit big.
He likes to say that, it's not just one thing, or you can't be just one thing. You also can't be everything everywhere all at once. You can't have it all. And especially in this division, you have to, figure out who you really, really are. And they have just had a really difficult time executing it. But more so, they've had a difficult time deciding what to be. Who are we based on what we have and all the people that we have in the building? They're going to decide it first. It's, So then there's that piece of it too. How does that look going forward between Whipple and Frost? There's a few. I pulled 8 of them that I thought were really, really notable. There was probably a few others too. We'll have you already heard the onside one and the play calling one. All right, we might not be able to squeeze everybody in here, but we can give it a shot. Let's do Rex next. Hey Rex.
Hello.
Hey Rex, go ahead.
Hey, this is Russ.
Russ, go ahead, Russ.
Russ in Lincoln. Hey, just quickly here. I know everybody's saying it's just the first game of the season, and I realize there's a bunch of new guys and coaches, and but what it comes down to is this isn't just the first game of the season. This is Scott's 5th year. This is his 7th game in a row that he's lost. I think the biggest problem, and I have been a Scott supporter, and I want to see him succeed. I just think he can't get out of his own way, and I think that his arrogance and his, he can't. If it's not about him or not his way, then I think he'd almost rather. This doesn't sound right. You'd almost see him rather lose if it's not going to be his way. And I don't want that to sound like it does, but you guys know what I'm saying. I mean, they showed a clip of him taking the play card away, running with that on the sideline on the second half. He couldn't even wait for the whole first game to get over before he had to put his hands in it. And, the defense was not playing well. They gave up over 500 yards, and you get an 11-point lead, and you kick an onside kick and give the other team a short field, and your defense is already tired and already looking like, I could run through their defense right now. And it's the decision making, it's the arrogance, it's a culmination of 5 years. And, so we might turn around and beat North Dakota and Georgia Southern, rah, rah. I mean, we haven't beat anybody good since he got here. I don't know of one game that was a signature win. And so we'll be 2-1, okay, and everybody will be drinking the Kool-Aid again.
I don't know about that.
Oklahoma. Here will come Oklahoma, and everybody will be surprised when we play them tough, but we just quite can't get there because Scott is not willing to change his process. He's not willing to do anything, honestly, for the betterment of the program. He does it because he's told he has to save his job. And I just think he can't get out of his own way. And I can't figure out, with him being a quarterback here and with them running the ball and the games they won, that he can't figure out we need to be a physical, run the ball, and then throw the ball. He wants to be Bill Walsh number 2, I guess. I don't know. It's just,
he wants to have it all.
I got a lot of guff from my family and a lot of guff from a lot of people for my beliefs, but it's just the first game. You're nuts. You're expecting too much. The boys played hard, and it's just like it's where we're at, guys. It's not about wins and losses anymore around here. I'm 54 years old. I've seen the best and the worst. I feel bad for my 24-year-old son. I feel bad for our kids that don't know what the standard is around here, and now the adults that if we lose close, they're so empathetic and jaded that they're trying to convince themselves and everybody that close losses are okay and playing hard is good and everybody gets a trophy and we're supposed to be Nebraska nice and all this BS. And the whole country's looking at Nebraska right now, again, for about, I don't know, the 15th year in a row, it feels like. And we're just a joke. And everybody just accepts it. And it's okay. And let's get behind. And let's, I'm all for supporting the players and the program. But something needs to be done to change up things and to do what's right around here. And all those fans that went over there, I mean, I'm glad I didn't spend the $10,000 to go over there and watch that. But I'm not going to, I think there's a lot of talent out there. But if you can't stop anybody, it doesn't matter how good your offense is, guys. You give up 500 yards to Northwestern, and Pat Fitzgerald was just playing with us. He wasn't even trying to score a touchdown that one drive. He went for a field goal towards the end because he knew we were going to hang ourselves in the end. Even though they missed the field goal, he was just like, yeah, Nebraska's going to find a way to lose this game because they're going to get arrogant because of somebody, and they're going to try doing some stuff instead of being fundamentally sound and just playing football. We got to get cute because we got to show how smart we are. And it's just, Pat Fitzgerald was playing with us, and he just waited for the end game for us to show our true colors. And it's not just one game. This is an ongoing process. This is the 7th game in a row that we've lost, and people don't seem to care. And that's the worst thing. And I guess we're not supposed to have expectations anymore. We're not supposed to be mad if we lose a game. We're supposed to just take it in stride, and we'll get them next week. Well, guess what? We got North Dakota and Georgia Southern. Who cares? Something's got to change, and it's got to be about Husker Nation. It's got to be about Nebraska football. It can't be about one person and his arrogance, and it can't be about anything other than, we all stick together in all kinds of weather, but it's got to be about everybody in the program and not about one person.
Yeah, Russ.
And I appreciate you guys taking my call. I've got to get into work. I'll check the responses on on the podcast. I love the Huskers and I want Nebraska to be successful, but I'm with you. I'm exhausted, and people keep making excuses. And I guess I've said what I said. Go Big Red.
Thank you, Russ. I said what I said. Go Big Red. Yeah, I think that's a pretty good encapsulation of things. I shook. If you're watching on the stream, I shook my head a lot during that. One question I do want to ask, because I saw this popping up, on Twitter or whatever, and I don't know, that's a bad judge a lot of the times. But I saw a lot of people, Husker fans, making fun of the idea of like, well, you just keep defending this guy, and you keep defending this guy, and keep defending this guy. Who's doing that? Is that a straw man? Like, how many people are still staunchly, I think this is going to work, and this is the guy? I don't feel like I see that at all anymore. But I don't know. So that's a question I genuinely want to ask. We have all week. I guess we have the next 2 weeks, as Russ mentioned. We have a couple games in front of us here that may not be that consequential in terms of a win. If it's a loss, it's obviously very consequential. Leading up to September 17th. Okay, Ron, I'm sorry. If you want to hang on through Schaeffer, I suppose you could feel free to do so. Same thing with Joe, who's come to shove it in my face for putting myself in the corner. You guys can hang it if you'd like to, or you can call back in a little bit. We got to get to Schaeffer. Mike Schaeffer of Husker 24/7. We'll chat with him next year on 1620 The Zone.
Email Sharpen Betting on the Equitable Bank inbox with whatever is on your mind. The Zone inbox is brought to you by Equitable Bank. We take banking personally. You can get me at Gary at 1620thezone.com. We want to hear from you on the Equitable Bank Zone inbox.
Hey everyone, Josh Peterson here for my friends at Kugler Vision. Fall means outdoor activities. Don't miss a moment this fall. Head over to their website today, kuglervision.com, and schedule a consultation. Low monthly payments are available, kuglervision.com.
Do you know the common signs of transmission trouble?
Your engine revs before falling into gear. Shifting is rough, or you're leaking reddish-brown fluid.
Knowing the signs could mean repair instead of replace.
That's where we come in. We're certified transmission.
The job done right at the right price.
At Dingman's Collision Center, you voted them first place in Best in Omaha for the past 17 years. So they want to say thank you for choosing the Dingman family and their incredible technicians to repair your vehicles. At Dingman's, they'd rather be the best than apologize for anything less.
Let's face it, food shortages are a real threat now. Supply chain breakdowns, inflation, fuel prices, global conflicts, fertilizer cutbacks, farmers being encouraged not to plant. The stage is set for the peanut butter to hit the fan. But for some reason, Americans are still in denial about food shortages. Listen, we don't take risks with other things in our lives, so why take risks with your food security? Those who know what's coming are using today to prepare. Millions of Americans have purchased ready-hour emergency food from My Patriot Supply, the brand people look for when they're ready for real preparedness. MyPatriotSupply.com is America's largest preparedness company. Get stocked up on emergency food that lasts up to 25 years in storage to get you through tough times ahead. Your other choice is to stand in government food lines, hoping for a handout. As we both know, that's not an option. Go to MyPatriotSupply.com right now. MyPatriotSupply.com.
This is Scott Schultz from Host Coffee. 2022 marks our 50th year and business has never been better. We are rapidly growing and adding new customers, which means we need new route drivers and service technicians. We have new jobs for those new to the industry with little or no experience, and new careers that require knowledge in the coffee and vending world. There's a good chance we have just what you need in a new job. Host Coffee offers competitive pay and understands the work-life balance. Apply today at hostcoffee.net/careers and join our team.
It happens every day, and homeowners are victims every time, unless they call us. Hi, this is Garen Armstrong with Shamrock Roofing. Recently, a local homeowner with an aging roof had 2 well-known roofing companies out. Neither found hail damage for an insurance claim, but both happily submitted bids for a new roof. Then the homeowner called Shamrock Roofing. We found significant hail damage and sat with the homeowner when he filed his claim. We were there again when the insurance adjuster came out. And when the insurance company tried to deny the claim, the homeowner appealed with his evidence from Shamrock. The insurance company then approved the full claim for a new roof. Shamrock Roofing helped the homeowner get his roof when the other roofing companies could not. That is exactly why we say call Shamrock Roofing first, especially if you're wondering about possible wind or hail damage. If you have it, we'll find it. One call does it all. Call Shamrock Roofing today or find us online at shamrockroofer.com.
Listen to 1620 The Zone anywhere, anytime. Online at 1620thezone.com and on the 1620 The Zone mobile app. You can hear all of your 6A to 6P favorites in the 1620 The Zone app. Powered by Woodhouse Auto Family. Shop Woodhouse Place Hyundai and Nissan, 144th and Giles. KOZN, Bellevue, Omaha, Council Bluffs.
All right, we're coming back from Ireland. Hope you slept on the flight. The beer was free. It was very exciting. The beer was free at my house all day Saturday, too, by the way.
It didn't just show up at your house, Connor. You had to pay for it.
I was waiting for that response. I didn't ultimately get it. I was actually sort of disappointed by that. Let's chat with Mike Schaeffer of Husker 24/7, who I've had the pleasure of chatting with a bunch about this game and the lead up to it.
I seen it.
Hello, how are you? Wait. We probably need to get him on first. Hey, Schaef, what's going on?
I don't know if I'm actually on.
There you are. You're on now.
I'm good. I also drank for free at my own house after paying for the beer and transporting it there. So I'm with you.
But you don't. What happened to your kegerator? I saw you were trying to sell your kegerator on Facebook Marketplace.
No. So the first kegerator that we bought from random China company did not work, and we informed them it did not work. So they just sent us the second one completely free of charge, no shipping cost or anything. Second one works great. So I still have the first non-working one, but it comes with all the components that you need for the kegerator. So really that's what I'm selling. And then if there's any, HVAC or refrigeration people that want to take a shot at fixing this thing, that's up to them.
You should have put the sticker on it that says "does not work, but would be fun to fix."
That's a sticker.
Have you ever seen that meme? It's like a broken record player. I'm asking Schaeffer if he's seen a meme. He definitely hasn't seen it. But it's like a broken record player laying on the sidewalk, and it says there's just a big piece of paper on it. It says "does not work, but could be fun to fix."
Yeah, no, I haven't seen the meme. I would have put the sticker on it. It came with some stickers, again from China, that just say beer with multiple exclamation points in like size 14 font. So I'll throw those in too. Again, if anyone's listening, get at me. I got a non-working kegerator with brand new parts that can be sold.
Yeah, somebody also tweeted Schaefer the meme if they could too. I could do it during the break if nobody else decides to. All right, Schaefer. We are.
It's not to get to, I'm sure, but can I say real quickly?
Yes.
I have discovered, through like Facebook, those stupid reels. I've gotten into like Steve Harvey Family Feud one. This is the corner of the internet that I find myself in now.
Oh, that's
Just felt
cool.
like you need stuff.
Yeah, I saw the one of Steve Harvey. He was like crying the other day because he met the people who like gave him some money and helped him out. That was kind of cool. I'm cool with Steve Harvey internet.
Yeah, I'm a big Steve Harvey guy. I don't know why. I don't know when it happened. I grew up watching the Steve Harvey show. It might have been that, but yeah, I'm a fan.
What do you think plays out over the next 2 to 3 weeks between Scott Frost and Mark Whipple?
Yeah, I mean, I'm excited for Wednesday when Mark Whipple will get an opportunity to talk to the media. I believe that's what was sent out for the revised media schedule. I don't understand that quote. I think, just from talking to people that were over there when it was said, I don't know that it hit people the same way that it reads in print as he said it. So maybe I'm reading my own sort of intention into it, but it sure feels like he took his offensive coordinator that he hired and threw him under the bus one game into his career at Nebraska for, an offense that scored 28 points. It didn't have a great rushing attack, but as I put on Twitter, they had a running back score for over 12 yards for the first time since middle of 2019. That's a real stat. So, look, I don't understand what the hell Scott Frost said there. I really don't. I don't know that creativity was lacking so much as the execution at the end. They had drops from receivers. Casey was off in the second half. And your offensive line is clearly not fixed from where things were at, a year ago. So I thought it was a weird quote, but, what he said. So we'll see how Whipple responds.
I thought it was, and I brought this up earlier too, I thought it was especially weird considering, part of that quote was like, I think we need some creativity to, the coaches will learn that we need some creativity to win in this league. Frost speaking as the guy who, from the perspective of, hey, look, I know what we have to do in order to win games. And number one, now the joke writes itself because they haven't won really very many games, 15 and 30 now. People forget that. But also, Schaefer, on the how to win part, I was talking about this before. The very clear and easy formula to win in the Big Ten West is don't lose, don't screw up, don't put yourself in position to do that as well. Whether it's from an execution standpoint, a play calling standpoint, what you do in the week leading up, and for that to happen, the onside kick to happen in the game, and then for him to go on the other side and say that about the offense is just like it makes it even more baffling to me. It's crazy.
I'm trying to think of what creativity Pat Fitzgerald's offensive staff used on Saturday.
Right.
They ran the ball effectively and then ran RPOs off of it. I guess the RPO would be the creative wrinkle, but it, started with the ability to run the ball, which for the Big Ten West outside of Purdue is what every team is attempting to do as you go into the start of all of these games. Successfully run the ball and then build off of that. And, again, I didn't understand the quote, and I definitely took it as one where, he was throwing Mark Whipple and that offensive staff that he essentially hired under the bus right off the bat. And it's also kind of funny because it's like, what did Mark Whipple do to these coaches that he works with? That it's like open season on them, I guess.
Yeah. How'd Casey Thompson grade out for you?
I thought he was fine. I mean, I know the 2 interceptions at the end of the game sort of mar what otherwise was pretty good, but honestly, I think he was let down by his pass catchers more than he let down Nebraska. I mean, the final interception was a catchable ball to Wyatt Lever. I mean, Trey Palmer had a couple critical drops, and Marcus Washington, right before the Wyatt Lever one happened, dropped a pass along the sideline. So, I think there was 5 or 6 drops total. I think those changed kind of his final numbers. I mean, he could have been a little bit better to the degree that in the second half it felt like the ball wasn't as crisp. Makes me wonder if maybe something happened there. It didn't look nearly as pretty as it did at the beginning of the game.
I
But
agree.
I think for the most part, you gotta, if you're a Nebraska fan and you're clinging to some hope for this season, you gotta feel like they at least have a quarterback that you trust back there for the most part. I mean, again, both of those interceptions didn't feel like they needed to happen. Like it seemed like Nebraska's receivers kind of put those situations together themselves.
Schaeffer, do you feel? I was saying this earlier too. Do you feel like maybe the defensive side, was it a misread of what they had, or was it just a bad day against a good offensive line and a team who knew what they were doing? Like, how do you read the defense's performance, and then what happens to potentially adjust and change going forward against, you'll see better teams than Northwestern this year?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's hard for me with the defense because I went in thinking, okay, the biggest thing that I'm going to have to see from them on Saturday is that they can hold up against an okay to mediocre running game, and they couldn't do that. And my fear coming in was you have no one to replace Sammy Daniels. You look at what Iowa and Wisconsin did when he really didn't play in a bunch of those at the end of the season last year. I mean, my fear is they just don't have the horses. I mean, Stephen Wynn was here all of fall camp, and he clearly wasn't better than Colton Feast. Feast struggled after what I thought was a pretty good first quarter. It looked like Nebraska physically just couldn't hold up against Northwestern's offensive line, which is an experienced line, and it does have a guy that's going to be more than likely a top 10 pick in it. But the degree in which it got pushed back, especially late in that game, was alarming. And then what happens when your defensive line can't hold up, or they're not getting any surge at all? Your linebackers are essentially rendered worthless. I mean, it was a rough game for Luke Reimer and for Nick Henrich and guys of that, that were playing that position. So it really starts up front, and it was a horrible debut for Mike Dawson back in the defensive line spot. I mean, the pressure wasn't really there once you get over to the pass defense, and then they just were really ineffective as run defenders, and that really kind of hurt the whole team. And then when Northwestern's able to run the way they were, they could basically bank on Nebraska loading up to stop the run. Then you hit those RPOs, and it's a really simple strategy when you're playing Nebraska's defense right now. When they won't call a defense that's tight against wide receivers that frankly aren't going to beat you deep most of the time anyways, you're given a lot of space, and Ryan Helinski picked them apart. I mean, it was a horrible day. I don't know whether that's emblematic of what they're going to look like all season.
Yeah.
If it is, Nebraska's going to win 2 games. That's it. Like, they're not going to beat a lot of teams if they play defense like they did on Saturday.
Well,
I tend to think it was more of a bad day and a misread, but man, if that is the reality of 2022 Nebraska defense, I completely misread them in their ability to play the pass, and their pass rush. I mean, that was horrible.
Yeah, it just wasn't there. That was sort of my next question, like, because there's not like reinforcements on the way. I mean, you'll get more of Devin Drew theoretically when he is more ready, but you have the guys that you have. It's just sort of figuring out a formula that works for them, and with sort of oriented the way that they are right now. I don't know what that formula would be. I mean, maybe you tighten up on the back end of the defense and sort of, maybe you're going to allow some bigger plays over the top. Like, what would be the answer for what you have right now and what they showed on Saturday to make it a coherent defense right now?
Yeah, I'm really not sure, and that's why, I mean, you get a couple weeks there against Georgia Southern and North Dakota this week to kind of batten down the hatches of your base defense before you get an Oklahoma team that, even though they're reloading, they're still going to have some firepower. I mean, I really thought that they trusted their corners, and I would have thought this last year too, that you could play tighter coverage, that you could body up at the line of scrimmage, that, you could help your pass rush a little bit by giving them, an extra second if you're jamming these wide receivers, but they play such a soft zone. And look, if you can't stop Ryan Helinski, and they couldn't stop Arthur Sikowski at times last year and Tanner Morgan, I don't know what it is you're trying to do. Like, you're not disruptive. You're not getting them off schedule. You're not winning at the line of scrimmage. You're putting your linebackers in an almost no-win situation where they have no help up front and they're being asked to cover for 6 seconds if they are in coverage. Like, it's just it is not at all what I thought we were going to see. And I never would have expected that Northwestern, of all teams, would just stick it to Nebraska in terms of total yards and just being able to move the ball. I mean, they were rarely ever uncomfortable. And, when there was a 3rd and long in the red zone, they're like, screw it, we'll take the field goal, which fascinates me on another level, too. But they really didn't struggle to move the ball at all.
Yeah. What about the wide receivers? This is something that we talked about constantly leading up to it. The concern really grew throughout. But yet, Castaneda was good, hit a couple big plays. Palmer was good. You saw a little bit of Brown and Washington as well. Is that enough if they ultimately turn into it, if they can't figure out how to run the ball in a conventional, consistent way? Do they have enough at wide receiver to be the team that they would have to be, which is, we're gonna throw it, 40 to 45 times a game?
Yeah, I thought they, individually, several of the guys flashed, and I think that you rattled off the free transfer guys and Alontae Brown. When you have those 4 after that, Brody Belt had a couple nice catches. He's clearly going to play. But, it's crunch time and Wyatt Lever's in the game. That tells us everything we need to know about where Nebraska's wide receiver picture is, right?
Yep.
Like, you're in a critical situation, and once again, a position that they have absolutely failed to recruit successfully, and you put yourself in a spot where you have to get free transfer portal takes, and you lose Xavier Betts, no more Manning, who knows what he's going to give you. Oliver Martin, the only time he came up when he was involved with another interception, which it felt like, either he had an opportunity to get his hand on the ball, maybe he didn't. But the wide receivers, it was a big concern coming in. It's going to be a big concern because of the lack of depth. And then when Travis Vokolek went out, you lost your safety belt in the middle of the field. And suddenly it became a lot harder to get the ball to some of those other guys. And we don't know what Ramir Johnson's status is. I guess he didn't have a good camp, or you believe the internet, he had a hell of a time in Dublin. So, it's a really bad situation for Mickey Joseph and that wide receiver group, because you only have 4 guys, scholarship-wise, that you trust. Like, good luck.
Yeah.
Long season.
All right, Shafe, we'll let you go. If you have any more podcasts that you'd like me to do this week, just let me know.
Yeah, I'll see if I can come up with some ideas. Maybe we can do one on the Storm Chasers. Maybe we can do one on high school football. What else is out there that we could discuss? Maybe we can do one on internet videos that we've recently watched. We can just go back and forth and describe them to each other.
Good one.
And neither of us will really be paying attention, because we'll be scrolling back to look through and find the one that we laughed at for 20 seconds before moving on.
Yeah, cool. You can just talk to me about Steve Harvey for 20 minutes. That's a podcast.
Trust me, I would. That guy's a comic genius.
See you later, Shafe.
See ya, Happer.
Mike Schaeffer of Husker 24/7. Schaefer and I did a little recap pod on Sunday. I did the Hypecast on Friday. You can check out all of their stuff at Husker 24/7. As Brunts makes his way back from overseas. Okay, we still have the callers. Should we just do this now and then we'll do the odd news?
Yeah.
I don't want to keep, because
I'm here till 2, Connor. You can do the odd news whenever.
It says that Ron has been holding now for 30 minutes. So we have to get Ron.
We feel like we should reward that.
We should get Ron on. Ron, thank you so much for holding. How are you?
Hey, thank you. I bet you never thought you'd get a call from Columbus, Ohio today, did you?
Columbus, Ohio. We've heard from Houston, Texas. We've heard from New Jersey.
Virginia.
We are nationally on air today.
I just wanted to call because I'm old school, and I grew up with the Cornhuskers on TV like every weekend, and I feared Nebraska. But when they joined the Big Ten, I was so happy. I'm thinking we got Nebraska now in the East. They'll be battling the Badgers for the title, and maybe Ohio State, Nebraska will play in the Big Ten championship game and everything like that. But, oh, my God, what's gone wrong in Lincoln? I can't believe Nebraska football is where it is right now. We had 9-3 Earl, and you all had Bo Pelini.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Bo Pelini put a whooping on the Buckeyes. I remember we was up at halftime, and we wind up losing that game.
2011.
Yeah, And I'm a Big Ten fan. I'm not just a Ohio State homer. Go Bucks. but anyway, I'm telling you guys, when Scott went for that onside kick, I could not believe it. I looked forward to that game all day long, cooked out, had my Big Ten flags up around the house. I'm expecting the Nebraska put a beat down. And I walked away from that game like, what the Sam hell happened?
Yeah.
I personally, we had 93 Earl, and you had Bo Pelini, I think, was like 93.
Mm-hmm.
And the Big Ten needs Nebraska to step up to the plate. Nebraska is getting no respect from nobody no more. Nobody fears Nebraska. In my day, you feared Nebraska. I remember the 1997, I believe the 1997 national championship team. I may be wrong on that.
Yeah, they won the national championship, but
Yeah.
like split that would split with Michigan, which I'm sure you don't want to talk about.
Yeah. Michigan fell into it, but anyway, I really respect Nebraska, but I really do think that Nebraska needs to go ahead and take care of this problem. I don't believe waiting until October just to save a few $1 million is going to remedy anything. I would go with letting go of Scott. I would put an intern in, and I'd go on to a year-long coaching search through the rest of this season. But anyway, I love y'all. I listen to you. I just want to say, come on, Huskers, step it up to the plate. The Big Ten needs you. You're a blue blood. Start playing like you're a blue blood.
Ron?
Other than that, guys, God bless y'all, and y'all have a good day.
Thank you, Ron. Thanks for checking in. Big Ten Ron.
I think the slogan for this season is officially "Do it for Ron."
Do it for Ron. Big Ten Ron. The Big Ten needs you, Nebraska. By the way, Ron called on the Zone Hotline powered by Los Hills Harley Davidson. Welcome to 1620 The Zone. Yeah. I mean, that would be an expensive decision that is plainly not going to be made. Not until at the very, very least October 1st, October 2nd, whatever it is. I personally don't think it's going to happen during the season. I don't know how much you really gain for having a year-long coaching search. That you are throwing this season completely
Early signing day, Connor.
You're throwing this season completely away. And the fact is, you just don't need it. You don't need to throw it away yet. Don't throw it in the trash can yet. And speaking of that, back yourself into a corner. Joe is with us now. Hey, Joe, what's going on?
You got it. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Hey, I do hate doing this, and I'm the guy that called earlier, about you have to win this game. So now they're doing that with the Oklahoma game. And I agree with you that, like, some of it's exhausting. But some of it's exhausting because of things like that. Like, can you imagine being Casey Thompson and everybody saying, you have to beat Oklahoma or Frost is done. Frost is fired. I mean, it's going to be exhausting for all of those players to be like, oh, man, if we don't win this game, Frost is done. I mean, they got enough pressure already. Yeah. Another thing that sort of drives me nuts is everybody, or not everybody, a handful of people seem to think the only reaction is to be outraged, to throw a tantrum, to say we suck. So, it's like if you got any other sort of optimism or anything, you're defending Scott Frost or you're okay with losing. And that's just absurd. It's absurd. From a competitor's standpoint, what do you say to somebody? Like, let's say you got a fighter and he's 10-0, but then he loses a match. You're done. Just quit. The season's over. Your fighting career's over. You're done. I mean, if Michael Jordan did that, he was successful to begin with. And so I sort of think of, like, what do you think Tom Osborne would say to the team? Would he say, you guys suck. Our offensive line sucks. Nobody can block. We can't run. You guys suck. No, he would probably try to find some way to sort of talk them off the ledge. Like, hey, we've got some fixable mistakes. Now, by saying those things, that doesn't mean you're okay with losing. That doesn't mean you're okay with Frost. Frost has been a giant disappointment, clearly.
Yeah.
And I'm a Husker fan, though. I want us to win. I don't want Scott to get fired, but he might need to get fired. And there are things that happen in that game. Like, for instance, our offensive line didn't play that great. Clearly. But Northwestern had 4 returning starters. How many returning starters do we got on our offensive line that got significant playing time?
Guys that started last year, I mean, 3 or 4, right? I mean, basically all the same
Not
guys are back.
significant that played all season last year that started.
Well, so, I mean,
We got 3 or 4 because I didn't hear anybody else. The broadcasters during that game didn't mention that we had 4 returning starters.
you wouldn't include Prohaska because he was the assumed starter, even though he only played 2 games.
He played
last
1
year.
or 2 games, and then he was out. Right, like he didn't come in until
that's fair.
later in the season. And that offensive line, even last year's offensive line, didn't gel right away. It took a little bit for them to gel. And I think some of that could be said for the defense, too. We got some new guys on there. I'm not defending losing, and I'm not defending Scott Frost. But if, Chenander's in there talking to his defense, he's going to tell these guys, hey, look, you were out of position here, or this is an arm tackle here. We can fix those things.
Yeah.
These guys, even the last guy you had, he's like, well, I didn't think, I just thought these guys were going to be different. After one game, you want to scratch it and be like, well, no, this is who they are. This is the type of player these guys are. There's no room for improvement. There's no room to fix their errors. I just thought they were going to be better, and they weren't. This is who they are. And that's absurd. It's absurd to take that roller coaster of being like, well, you have to do this. And if you don't do this, well, you suck. You're just not who I thought you were. And that's just bananas. And that is exhausting from a Husker standpoint. Yeah, losing sucks. Football hasn't been that fun for Nebraska fans or the players. And so to put all this other stuff on them makes it even less fun for those guys.
I understand. Yeah.
Right? And football should be fun. Now, nobody's okay with losing. I'm not okay with losing. And you can be a competitor and not, kick the dog or punch a hole in the wall if you lose by 3 to a team that we haven't, other than last year, they've always played us pretty close. So a lot of season. You had a one caller here not too long ago that's like, man, there's a lot of season left. The defense can get better. Some of these new guys can realize, okay, I took the wrong angle here. I took the wrong gap here. I did this wrong here. Those things can be fixed. It seemed like last year our defense kept sort of getting better and fixing some mistakes. Now, do I think we need a little help on the interior line? Maybe.
Right.
So some of those guys were kind of late to get into Lincoln, but I think those guys could up their play. But will Husker Nation allow it? Will we have enough patience to sort of let the season play out? The roller coaster of Husker fans, we either got a national championship team or we got to fire a coach. 1 week it's one, the next week it's the other. Thank you.
Thanks, Joe. I mean, excuse me.
They got you all choked up.
Yeah, crying. Thank you for the call, Joe, on the Les Hills Harley Davidson hotline. But at the same time, it's not necessarily about the one game. It is about all of the game. What we wanted to see, what I wanted to see, our expectations that we laid out before the season were, I would like to see this get better from an operational standpoint, for them to forget about some of the mistakes that have been made in the past and just go out there and play football like Joe was talking about. And what we saw was when it got tight and tough, which it was always going to be tight and tough, when it got tight and tough, Nebraska sort of wilted again. And you're right. That's not what they have to be the entire season. They'll win the next 2, I think. And they'll have opportunities to correct. But the question was, if they did it 6 straight times to end last year, were they getting these tight, tough contests and they wilt? I want to see that be different this year. And they just did it for the 7th time in a row. So it's not just one game in a vacuum and the season's over. I'm not saying the season's over. But what I'm saying is, do I believe in this team and the mental fortitude of it to pull itself up off the mat and get over the hump and win one of these? Or is this a systemic problem? I don't know. I'm starting to lean the other way. So we still want to hear from you guys as we will continue to throughout the show. All right, thanks to Schaeffer's. We've had a couple long segments to start here. So we have Sauter in the noon hour to talk some high school football from this past week with a exciting full week one of action. We're into week one of college football as well. Stats, numbers, and your calls, of course. Halfway home on the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone.
Previously on the crossover.
Nick, what the hell? I'm busy on Sundays. I'm busy. This is pathetic.
Nick, how busy were you?
Laundry. I had so much laundry yesterday.
Okay, you're watching TV.
You don't stand there and watch the laundry, do you?
My God.
That's pathetic. That's pathetic.
Sharp and Benning in the morning. The Connor Happer Show. Unsportsmanlike conduct. 6A to 6P. 1620. The Zone. Your Omaha area forecast from the Godfather's Pizza Weather Center and KETV Newswatch 7 on 1620 The Zone.
After a slight chance of showers and storms this morning, we'll see morning clouds give way to afternoon sun. Still staying warm today, a high of 86 in Omaha. Low humidity, be comfortable with winds out of the north, 5 to 10 miles an hour. Clear skies tonight and cooler, a low near 60. I'm meteorologist Caitlin Harvey with KETV Newswatch 7.
More with Connor and Josh after this.
We're going to have an extensive professional relationship, my man.
On 1620, The Zone.
Psst, come here. I got a secret weapon that'll make your family happy. Real happy. It's my new caramel toffee cookie combo. My big chocolate chip cookie covered with caramel and toffee bits. Add any medium specialty pizza piled high with the best toppings and loads of mozzarella on top. Plus any medium one-topping pizza. Caramel toffee cookie combo. Order now. Godfather's Pizza. Do it.
Before you know it, Husker football season is going to be here, and you want to be in Memorial Stadium or following the Big Red on the road. And while you look for tickets, look no further than ticketsforless.com. Formerly Ticket Express, they are your home for the best selection of Husker tickets inside of Memorial Stadium. And the best part, you'll never pay those outrageous fees like you do at other sites. Just compare. And you want to follow the Big Red on the road? Tickets for Less has you covered there, too. Find the best seats at the best prices to all your favorite Nebraska events, all in one convenient location. Ticketsforless.com. That's ticketsforless.com. Get in the stadium.
Your vehicle is important. It gets you where you need to go, but it does much more than that. I'm Darcy with Dingman's Collision Center, and at Dingman's, we know your vehicle is an investment and that safety is your priority. To make sure your vehicle is as safe as it was prior to an accident, bring it to Dingman's for proper, safe, and certified repairs. We protect you and your investment. We've been voted Best of Omaha for the past 17 years. At Dingman's, we'd rather be the best than apologize for anything less. Find us at dingmans.com.
Ted Wally's. Squeeze every last bit of flavor out of summer than you can with a spoonful of creamy, delicious Ted Wally's Ultra Premium Ice Cream. If you're in Benson, swing in for pints, quarts, or half gallons of Ted Wally's to take home. Or if you're in the old market, taking your senior photos or maybe just kind of hanging out, slip into Ted Wally's for a tasty treat after the photo session. There's still plenty of summer left. Enjoy it with rich, creamy flavors of Ted Wally's Ultra Premium Ice Cream in Benson, the Old Market, and at tedwallys.com.
Summer is here, and if you have a gotta get it done this year project, trust the official exterior experts of the Huskers, J-Tech Construction. Call them for a free estimate on roofing, siding, windows, or even solar. They're close by with 3 locations in Nebraska, including Lincoln, Grand Island, and Omaha. Need financing? J-Tech offers 0% interest for 60 months. Call 402-261-3682 or go online to yourexteriorexperts.com. J-Tech Construction, Nebraska's exterior expert.
Equitable Bank. We take banking personally. EquitableOnline.com.
Shop Woodhouse Place Hyundai and Nissan, 144th and Giles. KOZN, Bellevue, Omaha, Council Bluffs.
Connor Happer, Josh Otson back with you in the Connor Happer Show, 1620 The Zone, 1620thezone.com. You can also watch it there. You can look at Josh's graphics.
It would be fun to fix. And it currently does not work the way it's supposed to.
If you'd like more detail on that, just go to 1620thezone.com. The stream is up right there on the front page. Or you can find us on YouTube or Twitch and all that other stuff.
We're out there. We're nationally syndicated.
Yeah, I guess so. We got national callers calling in. Have you done the thing where like there's a disaster happening Philadelphia? I've done it for Philadelphia a lot. Something horrible happens in Philadelphia, like in a sports sense, not like an actual sense. Something horrible happens in a sports sense, like they blow a lead or somebody traded somebody. I'm going to Philly sports radio. Let's hear all the callers yell.
Yeah, I have done that.
It's a hobby of mine. So we might be that place today.
Look at us.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the center of heartbreak. You found the right place. All right. So here's the plan. Phone call, odd news, Sauter, and we'll go from there. Because we got to get this. We got to reel this thing a little bit somehow. Let's take a phone call on the Zone Hotline, powered by Lus Hills Harley Davidson. It is Tanner. Hello, Tanner.
What's up, guys?
Hey, Tanner, go ahead.
Hey, I just want to talk about the onside kick call.
Oh, I'd love to. Yes, let's talk about it a lot.
All right. Felt like it was a total ego call by the head coach. He wanted to make his presence felt, so he inserted himself into that call for no real reason besides I feel like he wanted to make his presence felt. And then he found yet another way to lose a game. I thought we were out of ways to lose a game, but we have another one.
Yeah, Tanner, I thought about that in the moment, and then it kept coming up on the broadcast too. Like they were talking about it like it was Frost almost verse Whipple. And, when they brought in Smothers for that play, they were like, well, I think that was a Scott Frost play. And then when Casey Thompson scored the running touchdown at the goal line, they were like, yeah, I think that was a Scott Frost play. It was weird the way they sort of talked about that. So what you said there about the onside kick being a way to sort of insert himself in the game, I didn't hear or see anything during that game to make me come off of that thought. I'm rocking with you there.
Yeah, the Smothers thing, I can see things are bogged down a little bit, switch it up a little bit. The goal line call, I think that's just announcers trying to, sound smarter than they are. But in that one call, I felt like he's like, I'm going to win this game. We're going to put the dagger in, and it's going to be my call. And it was just the wrong call.
Yeah, no, I couldn't agree more. Thanks for the call, Tanner. Appreciate it. Yeah,
this is going really well, and I haven't done anything.
Seriously, we don't know all of the dynamics at work here, but we do know him pretty well. That's why when JD tweeted in earlier, he was like, well, come on. Do you really think he made that call, or do you think he was just falling on the sword? Iowa JD is obviously an Iowa fan. I just don't think Scott Frost is the guy who's fallen on the sword, given for...
Very noble for him to fall on the sword, given how hot his seat is.
Well, yeah, for sure. Yeah, I just don't think he ever really has fallen on the sword.
Yeah.
In the very same press conference, he talked about his new offensive coordinator who's given all the reins to and said, actually, I think we need to be a little bit more collaborative.
They really don't know how this Big Ten stuff is played.
Right.
These noobs.
So
maybe you get them ready for that in the discussions preseason.
Like I said before, emotionally, there was a lot that I think went into that. And I think I think Scott Frost lets that piece of him get the best of him. A lot. And that was the whole purpose of bringing in Mark Whipple and bringing in these experienced guys to run your offense and to run their individual position groups, so you can sort of not be, it's not about him. It's not about me or us as Nebraska fans or whatever, wanting him to be far away from the offense or not have an imprint on the offense. It's just the idea that there needs to be one singular vision and identity for Nebraska football. They need to be whoever they're going to be. And I think there was a lot of chatter about this, I don't know, 7-10 years ago, whatever, maybe before Mike Riley was hired. Is there a certain way you need to win? Or maybe they're in the Callahan era too. Is there a certain way you need to win? I think we're all past that now. We just want Nebraska. I'm speaking for myself, maybe not everybody else here. I just want Nebraska to have a a singular identity. The bar's that low. It doesn't need to, they don't need to win a certain way. They don't need to be a run the ball team. And maybe it's away from Scott Frost's mission, but and to be fair, it's really tricky in this moment because the pressure is so high and you don't have very long. So are you going to let, sit around and just let that set in? And maybe there's some rocky moments. It's tough. When he says it's tough, it is tough. Here it is.
It's tough for me.
It's tough. Folks, it's tough. Yeah. Should we get to? Let's actually take a break here. So thanks for the call, Tanner. We'll have the odd news coming back. We'll have Sauter join us. We still have these audio clips, plenty to get to throughout the remainder of the show. Text line is open as well. 951-1620. I still want to ask the big picture question of are we going straw man on the Husker fans still? They have such low expectations that they want Scott Frost to be the guy. I just don't know. I don't know how much of that there is. I've heard from one. I don't know how much of that there is. So lots of thoughts, and we'll have all this week to dissect and discuss, and the next week and the week after that too. So stick with us here on 1620 The Zone.
After Nebraska plays on Saturday, you'll wake up on Sunday morning with a severe reaction. Michael Severe returns to 1620 The Zone, and he won't hold back about what went right and what went wrong during the game. He'll also take calls from the most important voice of all, yours. Severe Reaction. Sundays from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m., powered by Equitable Bank. We take banking personally. Only on 1620 The Zone.
Hello, I'm Doug Nodgard with Equitable Bank. If you've been dissatisfied with your current banking situation, maybe it's time to move to a bank that works to deserve your business. We have an engaged staff that offers exceptional personalized service. We also have a great digital banking platform. We have 2 locations at 108th and Dodge or 202nd and Pacific. So if you're looking for a superior banking relationship, give us a call at 402-827-8100. We'll answer on the first ring. Equitable Bank, we take banking personally. Member FDIC.
Creighton Sports Update. Creighton Volleyball returns home this weekend for the Blue Jay Invitational presented by Hilton Omaha. The Blue Jays face off against the USC Trojans on Friday night at 7:30, followed by Kentucky at 10:30 on Saturday morning. Limited tickets are available online at gocreighton.com/tickets.
$16.20 The Zone proudly supports Creighton Athletics.
TrackPhone wants to know, are you an influencer, a big live streamer? No? Then guess what? You don't need an endless data plan. Get just the right amount of data with TrackPhone's $40 unlimited talk and text smartphone plan. Now with 8 gigs of high-speed data and unlimited carryover on America's largest, most dependable network, now with 5G. Get the data you need at the price you want. TrackPhone Wireless. Now you're in control. Available at major retailers. 5G compatible device required. Actual availability, coverage, and speed may vary. See terms and conditions at trackphone.com.
It happens every day, and homeowners are victims every time, unless they call us. Hi, this is Garen Armstrong with Shamrock Roofing. Recently, a local homeowner with an aging roof had 2 well-known roofing companies out. Neither found hail damage for an insurance claim, but both happily submitted bids for a new roof. Then the homeowner called Shamrock Roofing. We found significant hail damage and sat with the homeowner when he filed his claim. We were there again when the insurance adjuster came out. And when the insurance company tried to deny the claim, the homeowner appealed with his evidence from Shamrock. The insurance company then approved the full claim for a new roof. Shamrock Roofing helped the homeowner get his roof when the other roofing companies could not. That is exactly why we say call Shamrock Roofing first, especially if you're wondering about possible wind or hail damage. If you have it, we'll find it. One call does it all. Call Shamrock Roofing today. or find us online at shamrockroofer.com.
Cubby's supports the PACE program with Raise Some Dough. For every large pizza sold at Cubby's in the Old Market, Cubby's gives $1 to the Police Athletic League, serving at-risk and disadvantaged inner-city children with athletic and educational programs. PACE has over 5,800 program participants. The league reaches kids that would not normally be able to participate in athletics like soccer and baseball due to financial situations and family dynamics. PACE wants to give every kid the opportunity at athletics and a healthy and safe environment. If you'd like to support PACE too, go to paceomaha.org.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ziprecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ziprecruiter.com/radio. That's ziprecruiter.com/radio. ziprecruiter.com/radio.
You can join us every week for the Sharp and Betting podcast. It's Sharp and Betting. We got a podcast driven by our good friends at Woodhouse Auto Family.
Yeah, the cool thing about it is we'll get more in depth on a lot of your favorite topics, have a guest or two, and just might drop some nuggets of information that you've never heard before.
Wherever you get your podcasts, just look for Sharp and Betting. We got a podcast driven by Woodhouse Auto Family each Friday. You can find it on the Sharp and Betting show page on 1620thezone.com. At Sharp and Betting, we got a podcast.
And now we've reached the point in the show where Josh Odson reads the peculiar, the bizarre, the comical, the odd news with Odd Son. Odd news, odd son. See what we did there? The odd news with Oddson.
All right, yes. One quick break from the madness, love.
Yeah, are we allowed to make fun? We allowed to yuck it up?
Yes, do some funnies.
Or is today a somber day?
Oh, we'll do some funnies here with the odd news.
Okay.
Sauter will join here in just a couple minutes. Wanted to remind you, though, to celebrate Septemberfest, Labor Day weekend. That's this weekend. September 2nd through the 5th, outside the CHI Health Center in Lot D. Games, carnival rides, food, clowns, robot rangers, constant thrills, and a KCBC barbecue cook-off. Friday night, there's the Omaha Fight Club, boxing on Saturday, and epic music all weekend long, including Shoot to Thrill on Sunday. Monday is actually Labor Day, and it's a Labor Day parade throughout downtown Omaha starting at 10 with the All-American Car Show. Septemberfest, which is at CHI Health Center Lot D. For all the details, head to 1620thezone.com. All right, Josh, the odd news.
We begin in Oakland today, where Yankees reliever Lou Trevino got a tap on his shoulder as he warmed up in the bullpen, alerting him he was wearing the wrong jersey and that the number 50 belonged to Jameson
Taillon.
Taillon?
Yes.
Yes. Instead of his own 56. Trevino had pulled off his sweatshirt in Oakland in August. What baseball players? You're weird. You're a weird lot.
Stay warm.
To throw his pitches on a cool Friday night at the Coliseum.
See,
and the problem became clear. He began to warm, and Casey was needed to replace Wandy Peralta. I'm not as familiar with the Yankees roster as I thought I was. Who surrendered an RBI single to pinch hitter. Damn it, article. Get to the funny.
Keep pronouncing names.
Dermy Garcia?
This is for the A's.
Epidermis Garcia, but finished the 2-hour, 50-minute game for his third save as New York beat the Oakland Athletics 3-2. I don't know. It happens, Trevino said. I was warming up. I wasn't even paying attention. A bat boy scurried out with the right jersey, and Trevino made a quick change. Who told him? I don't know. It just happened, said Trevino.
Yep.
Traded by the A's to New York at the deadline, along with Frankie Montas. I knew that one. Trevino laughed it off, saying, it wasn't the first time I've done this. It probably won't be the last. Wow.
I mean,
I mean, don't they put that in your locker?
Have you ever met a baseball pitcher only, a PO as they call them?
I have, yes.
They are notorious. I don't know. I don't want to cast it over everybody, but I know a lot of POs, and they're pretty much all space heads. They're in their own world. They sit out there in the bullpen the entire game. They don't do anything. Everyone who ever tells you, "Oh no, they're doing stuff out there. Don't worry, they're talking about stuff. They're talking strategy." No, they're not. Maybe like once a week or something like that. They'll share tips or something like that.
They're stacking Gatorade cups on their head.
Yes.
They're turning them
They're
into
screwing
goggles.
around.
Yeah.
Space heads. But did you hear what happened with Aroldis Chapman this weekend?
I did. The latest in a long line of odd baseball injuries. Aroldis Chapman was sidelined this weekend.
Oh, is this an odd news?
Yes.
Oh, great.
It was an excellent segue. He's been sidelined with a, quote, pretty bad infection from a tattoo.
That's
right. The Yankees bullpen took a hit on Saturday as Aroldis Chapman was placed on the 15-day IL after getting a skin infection from a recent tattoo. Chapman felt irritation in his leg on Thursday after getting the tattoo earlier in the week. He was held back at the hotel while the team played the A's on the road Friday and Saturday while receiving antibiotics and getting treatment. Aaron Bleepin Boone said, "It's still significant enough," Boone said. "He's got a pretty bad infection." Boone said he didn't expect the infection to be a long-term issue, but was going to wait to get a better idea of how much time the Yankees reliever will end up missing. Hopefully he's good in several days. We just have to get our arms around it. Got a little bit worse over the last few days. He added he didn't have a problem with Chapman going to get the tattoo in the middle of a playoff push. "It's hard for me. I don't have tattoos. That's a personal choice," Boone said. "This is more of an unfortunate situation that turned into an infection. My focus is on trying to get him right." 36 appearances this season. Chapman has a 4.7 ERA and 9 saves. He lost his role as the team's closer after a shaky start to the season.
Yep. Check that one on the bingo card.
That's right up there with I got injured playing Guitar Hero.
There have been some really, really good baseball injuries. Missing time on the injured list because a tattoo got infected. I would say that's pretty unique.
Yeah, that's a new one for sure. Top 5 weird baseball injuries?
Oh, that could be. Not today, though, because it's the best of the winners of the weekend.
Winners of the weekend. That's right. We'll get to that later. If you still allow us to yuck it up here from 10 to 2. We end in Florida, as we typically do.
We end in Florida.
Pinellas County woman's field sobriety test has gone viral after she was caught on body camera performing ballet and Irish dance moves for a deputy following a car crash. The woman ended in handcuffs after trying to impress a deputy with pirouettes during a field sobriety test following a car crash. According to an arrest report.
Is this the equivalent of an onside kick when you're up 11?
She had the game in hand, and she definitely gave it away. That's for sure. Amy Harrington, 38, had rear-ended another vehicle along.
I'm not drunk.
I could do ballet. This is before 10:30 on April 27th. The deputy responding. I'm along with Amy Harrington here. My speech is slurred. She also had glassy eyes and was unsteady on her feet.
Oh, so she actually was drunk.
Yes, she was.
She did not have the lead.
She smelled of alcohol, and she refused to submit to a breathalyzer test. In a body cam video, the deputy can be heard giving Harrington explicit instructions to walk along the yellow line. When asked if she understood, Harrington said yes, but added that she thought the instructions were, quote, ridiculous.
I'm not doing that.
That's a ridiculous thing to ask me. The video then shows Harrington using the yellow traffic line as a stage as she performed a one-woman dance show ranging from ballet to an Irish jig. However, the deputy giving her the field sobriety test, shocker, was not amused. When the deputy asked Harrington to again walk the yellow line, she said, "Oh my God, you sound like my bleeping ballet coach." Before breaking into another dance, I've got a lot of follow-up questions to that one line there. The deputy asked Harrington several times if she understood the directions, but Harrington just kept on dancing. When asked if there was any reason she could not follow the instructions, Harrington replied with, "Because you sound like my ballet coach." She can also be heard saying, quote, "I just want to go home, dude."
Just doing a little bit too much.
Yeah.
Remember when Tiger got pulled over when he was on all those PKs?
PKs, look at you.
What?
We abbreviating painkillers now?
The PKs. Remember
PKs?
Remember when Tiger got pulled over?
I do.
2017. So they asked him, one of his field sobriety tests was and he was clearly, gone. They asked him to
I've seen the mugshot. Yes, he was clearly gone.
They asked him to say the ABCs, and his response was, "You want me to sing the national anthem backwards?" It's like, no, Tiger, that's not a part of this. We're gonna have to take you in now. It's not great.
Tiger should have just said, "I'm a Hall of Fame golf guy."
And then what? And then one of the best things to come out of that was Tiger's mugshot, and then the guy standing by him at the tournament with the shirt of Tiger's mugshot, and Tiger walks by and smirks at it.
Sorry, Tiger is buttoned up, but he's
sneaky funny.
Yeah, sneaky funny. It's in there. Like, I assume if you know him and are buds with him,
sneaky funny, sneaky aware.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah, I respect that. All right, that is the odd news. Thank you, Josh.
Thank you.
We'll come back with Mike Sauter. It was a busy week. One in high school football, a couple big games. One that went later than it was looking like it was going to go early between Prep and West Side. We'll get the update on that and what's to come in week 2 next with Sauter on 1620 The Zone.
Summer is here, and if you have a gotta get it done this year project, trust the official exterior experts of the Huskers, J-Tech Construction. Call them for a free estimate on roofing, siding, windows, or even solar. They're close by with 3 locations in Nebraska, including Lincoln, Grand Island, and Omaha. Need financing? J-Tech offers 0% interest for 60 months. Call 402-261-3682 or go online to yourexteriorexperts.com. J-Tech Construction, Nebraska's exterior expert.
The NFL season is almost here, and you can kick off week 1 with FanDuel, America's #1 sports book with sharp betting in the morning. Join today. Get started with $150 in free bets guaranteed. And when you place your first bet, Damon, that first $5 bet, you can be a big winner. All you got to do is use our promo code.
Yep. Promo code is ZONE. Make sure you get to the app, get it downloaded. If you've been thinking about joining FanDuel, now's the perfect time. It's America's #1 sportsbook app. It's easy to use. It's safe. It's secure. If you're like Sharpie and you win a ton, they've got really quick payouts. And they're giving you a nice little head start with just a $5 guarantee, win or lose.
A future bet that could win you $150, I would avoid the Bears, maybe the Chargers. So play your way and bet more than just the final score. You can even combine bets for a big same-game parlays. Don't fumble your chance at $150 in free bets, win or lose, with promo code ZONE. Make every moment more with FanDuel, the official sportsbook partner of the NFL. 21 and over, present Iowa. First online real money wager. Only $10 first prize required. Bonus issued, non-withdrawable free bets that expire 14 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem, call 1-800-BETS-OFF.
Ray Magliozzi here for eBay Motors. You're driving along and some nimrod cuts you off. You hit the horn. Jeez, it sounds like a goose in distress. Time to head over to eBay Motors. They have horns for every make and model, not to mention horn pads, steering wheels, wiring, and more. 122 million parts. You can even go for an upgrade. It looks like Mr. Cutoff Man needs a new seat cover. Try eBay Motors, pal. Get the right parts at the right prices. eBay Motors. Let's ride.
Realtors abide by a code of ethics. This is Article 9 in action. Beth, a first-time homebuyer, knew nothing about the home buying process, except that she wanted to buy a home. But her realtor had the expertise to make sure Beth understood every document, even giving her copies to review with her lawyer so Beth could close on her first home with confidence. Complicated things explained in simple terms. The difference between an agent and a realtor is real. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors. That's who we are.
Let's face it, credit cards are pretty much a necessity.
New tires for the car? Here's my card.
I order takeout, use my card. And most of us just accept the high interest rates credit cards charge as a necessary evil.
What are you going to do?
Get a low fixed-rate credit card consolidation loan from Lightstream from $5,000 to $100,000 and pay off those credit card balances. Apply online, and you could get your money as soon as the day you apply. The average credit card company charges over 19% APR, but with Lightstream, you can get a fixed rate as low as 5.73% APR with autopay and excellent credit.
Now I can pay off my high-interest credit cards and save money at a much lower rate.
Apply today at lightstream.com/radio and get an additional interest rate discount. That's lightstream.com/radio. Lightstream.com/radio.
Subject to credit approval. Rates range from 5.73% APR to 19.99% APR and includes 0.5% autopay discount. Lowest rate requires excellent credit. Terms and conditions apply and offers are subject to change without notice. Visit lightstream.com/radio for more information.
When you're a kid and it feels like no one is in your corner, it's a pretty tough place to be. And let's not forget the spikes in depression and anxiety from the pandemic. That's where Teammates can help. When kids have mentors through Teammates, they're more likely to feel engaged in school and more hopeful for the future. Just by simply being there, mentors can make students feel confident in their own skin, even when everything else seems to go wrong. Become a mentor and be there for a student by going to teammates.org. A message from JTech Construction, proud supporter of Teammates Mentoring.
All right, week 1 of high school football in the books, week 0 of college football as we head to week 1 this week with several big games. Go to week 2 in high school. Stagger them out. Mike Sauter of NEBPreps.com joins us now on the hotline powered by Les Hills Harley Davidson. Hello, Mike. Wait. Hello, Mike. There you are. What's
Hello,
up?
Connor. Hello, Connor. Hello.
So you're getting a mow in after this?
Wow. Yeah.
Right now?
No, after this. No, after this.
Okay, good. Yeah, I snuck one in
Nice.
before the rain on whatever day that was, Saturday. It was beautiful, right after the game and before the rain.
Yeah.
So
So
happy
I,
with that.
I think it was last Monday or whatever. One of the nights it was like raining. Maybe it was Monday or 2 Mondays ago or Tuesday or something. Recently, how about that? I put down like the 5th, application for the yard stuff,
Mm-hmm.
and it definitely sprouted up very quickly, and the rain we've had has helped with that, and so I'm on like a once every 4 days the last 2 weeks, I guess, mowing.
Yeah.
So it's getting nice and green again, and long, and full, all those things.
Feels so good. Who was the most impressive team in week 1?
Good question. Well, I think a couple of the bigger kind of team performances. One was Elmwood Murdoch going to Fall City Sacred Heart and winning 95-48 or something like that. Fall City
Wait,
Sacred Heart's always-
wait, 95?
Yeah, they scored 95 points. Yeah.
Yeah. Is that doesn't strike you as odd at all?
It strikes me as odd that they did it against Fall City Sacred Heart, because Fall City Sacred Heart is, Doug Goltz has won I don't know how many state titles, and they're always really, really good, and they did it at Fall City Sacred Heart. So that one struck me as odd. And then I'm going to go with probably Omaha Growth and what they did. So they went to Beatrice and won by a lot, and their running back, Jake Garcia, had 278 yards rushing and 3 touchdowns.
Hey, that's
pretty good.
Those you told us to watch out for them.
Yeah, it's a pretty good night. So, yeah, those are kind of the things that stood out to me. I guess if you look from all classes in Class A, I don't even. Probably Kearney winning at Lincoln East. Kind of a big one there, and Prep coming back after being down 24-0.
I was gonna say, that you got to throw them in the mix because that looked like it was gonna be a runaway.
Yeah, I mean, it was 24-0 at half, and it was basically over. So for them to come out and same thing they did in week 1 against Bellevue West. They were down 21-7 against Bellevue West and came back and fought back. And obviously halftime adjustments and all that stuff matters. So, that's impressive. And Specimen came in at quarterback and really kind of ignited, invigorated the team. And, on his first play, he really, he made a play, and you could tell it just kind of lifted up his teammates, and they're happy for him and all that stuff. So now I guess Prep, I don't know, I haven't talked to them about it, but now I guess Prep has you could call it a quarterback controversy, if you will.
Yeah.
I don't know.
They got some guys, and none of them that really, I don't know, stand out amongst the rest of them.
Yeah, there obviously clearly hasn't been a separator yet, but now they play Millard North on Thursday, so that game will get over in about an hour and a half, and there'll be about 10 total passing plays. So,
and then Gretna.
That's it. What?
And then Gretna after that for Prep.
Yeah, at Gretna. So tough. I said, I guess before the season started, their first 5 games are they're pretty tough 5 games. And then they go into district play. I mean, honestly, they're 0-2, and you're like, hey, they're still very much so in the mix and in the conversation, and not going to go away. I think with that offensive line, they're not going to go away anytime soon. So,
no, I don't think so either. Yeah. Okay. So that's, a good debut for West Side, obviously, but with is that sort of how you draw it up? Maybe as a coach, you're like, yeah, well, we had some adversity and we had to sort of earn it against a good team, but we also showed some flashes of some really good stuff. Are your thoughts any different on West Side after seeing them once now?
No, not really. You knew the concerns they had would be a little bit of the concerns they had would be up front on both sides of the ball. And frankly, they probably won't see a better front than what they saw against Prep maybe all year. So, you survive it, right? And you're only going to get better there, you'd think. For those young kids, the majority of the team is underclassmen or the stars, if you will, or juniors, and below, majority of them are juniors. For them to kind of get through that game, win that game, I think it certainly only helps them in the future. For the rest of the year, I think it's very much a learning kind of experience for them, and maybe figure some things out. And again, the Prep front, offensive and defensive line might just be the best that Westside will possibly see all year. So for them to get that win is definitely, a feather in their cap, and gets Coach Lamonji off to his first win at Westside. And now it's just kind of momentum from there. They do have a little bit of a tough one this week. They go to Grand Island, who's extremely well coached. Coach Tomlin at Grand Island is one of the best, and gets more out of less than anybody. So going to Grand Island might be a little bit tough. Grand Island had to come back on the road at North Platte. They were down 13-0 at halftime and came back to win 19-13. So we'll see, and I think if you just line up the talent, obviously Westside has more talent than Grand Island does, but could be a tough place to play and all of that. They did go there, I think, 2 years ago and kind of won handily, but they're talking 2 different teams at that point.
Yeah. How about North? I don't think that was unexpected for, those of us who were sort of, thinking about them before the season, but that's another game that went right down to it.
Yeah. Bellevue West needed a 2-point conversion that they needed to stop. I think it was in overtime, right? If I'm correct. Good on North. North is one of those teams that'll be there too. And Tayshawn Porter had 212 yards rushing and 3 touchdowns against Bellevue West. That's something that, Prep couldn't do the week before with a really good back in Trevor Brown. So, yeah, I think North is one of those teams in the conversation. There's nothing that's happened in the first, I guess, week or two that makes me think anything different than, hey, there's still 7 teams that legitimately have a shot to win a state title. There wasn't any big upsets or anything like that happened in Class A. I think North is going to be right there. Obviously, well coached, tough team. Have a running back that they can lean on, and the offensive line that's pretty good, especially in the middle of it, if you will. And they didn't have their center. Knickerbocker's their center, and he's out a couple games with an injury. So, Tyson Terry and Tyler Stewart are 2 wrestling state champions from last year that are playing, defensive tackle and offensive guard for them. So they're both very good and strong, physical, good athletes. So North will be there. They definitely will be in the conversation as the season goes along, and trying to figure out a little bit, as far as a passing game goes at North, and new roles for some young guys are playing. Titan Glassman's one, Champ Davis is another one that, and we're talking freshmen and sophomores playing wide receiver. So,
yep.
They lost Keyshawn Williams, who was electric, but their core kind of group at wide receiver is better than last year. If you kind of as a whole, they don't have the star, I guess, that can kind of go up and get it quite yet, but we'll see as the season goes along.
Probably not as star-studded, I guess, of a slate this coming week. But there are some good ones. What are the games that stand out to you? I mean, I'm looking at Millard South, Elkhorn South. Is that the one you mentioned? Westside Grand Island already. That's a pretty big deal. Is there anything else in the lower classes that sort of stand out to you too?
Yeah, I do a game of the week.
Oh, really?
Week, and it was very kind of hard to pick. There isn't a whole lot of great options. North South, Elkhorn South, I think, is the highlight game in Class A. I think that's the one that very much so is the top of the heap, if you will. 2 ranked teams. It's the only game with 2 ranked teams playing each other. In C1, you have Pierce going to Columbus SCOTUS, and then Lincoln Christian at Platteview. Both those teams are 1-0. And then the battle for Papillion La Vista South and Papillion La Vista play each other. And Papio South has 2 games under their belt, and the Monarchs of Papillion La Vista have 1 game where they lost in overtime to Millard North. So that game is always kind of close. It's clearly a big rivalry game. Millard North and Prep, like I mentioned, I think that maybe could be a little close just because both teams like to run the ball.
Yeah.
Whenever that happens, if you kind of keep everything in front of you a little bit, it could be a little bit of a grinder. So I don't know. And then, Benson and Bryan is one, just because of kind of turning into this weird rivalry thing. If you remember last year, at the end of the year when they played, there was all the drama after the game. So they play on Thursday night as well. Elkhorn North maybe is one. There isn't a lot. C2, there's a big one, real big one in Ord. Norfolk Catholic goes to Ord. And in our coaches poll, that's number 1 versus number 2. So that's a big game there.
There you go. Sauter, we'll let you go. Maybe we'll see you out there at some point this week. What are your options for game of the week this week?
So it's North South, Elkhorn South, Pierce at Columbus SCOTUS, the Papillion La Vista game, and then Lincoln Christian and Platteview.
Okay, you could vote at that on that. Sauter will tweet it out at some point. NEBpreps.com.
I tweeted it out yesterday. I'll probably tweet it out again.
Yeah,
so it'll be out there.
You have the great privilege of sending Mike Sauter wherever you want to.
Yeah, one of 4 options.
Well, yeah. Well, out of the 4, of course.
Yeah.
But this is what the people could do.
Going to a softball game tonight. So,
all right. Excellent. Any storylines in the softball side?
Not really yet. Kind of still a little bit early, but
waiting for it to simmer a little bit.
Yeah, we're 2 weeks into softball, and it already feels like it's halfway over. Because they played like 9 games already. They play like every day.
Yeah.
So it's a lot. You could play every day, but Lincoln Southwest at Millard West softball tonight at 6:30 is where I'll be.
Where in the world is Mike Sauter? Another round kicking off this week. All right, Sauter, thanks for the time. Talk to you later.
Yeah, bye.
Mike Sauter, NEBpreps.com is going to go mow his lawn.
Yeah, he's going to get that mow in.
I feel the amount of pride that I felt on Saturday. I went home.
There wasn't a ton of time between the game and the rain.
I mowed the lawn immediately. There was actually some sprinkles on the way home. I was like, "Ooh, I'm not going to be able to get this done." And yep, got it in. And then it rained. I was like, "Wow, this is beautiful. This is exactly how you draw it up.
Perfection."
That's right.
You had a plan and you stuck to it and you executed.
Is that like kicking an onside kick up 11? Maybe.
No. Everyone knew your game plan. This wasn't a surprise.
Okay. You're right. I'm going to give myself more credit.
Mm-hmm.
Josh's top 5 is next. We need to talk about, we need to at least mention other things that aren't Nebraska football, although I'm sure they'll come up in here. Not Nebraska, but
there is one Nebraska Northwestern related thing in the top 5 winners of the weekend.
Is it all? I won't say.
Don't spoil it.
It's probably, yeah.
Everyone knows it.
All right. We will have that coming back next on 1620 The Zone.
Previously on Unsportsmanlike Conduct.
Can it make the season again? No. There's still 11 games after that, and they have to take care of business. And it's a team that has not, a program that has not. They were 4-2 in 2019.
Right.
The only loss in conference they had was to Ohio State. They were from the East. But this one, no, they got to start out with a win. You, in a way, want to just get the victory so it shows you proof of concept that what you did in the offseason works.
Mm-hmm. Unsportsmanlike Conduct with John Bishop and Josh Peterson. Weekdays 2 to 6 on 1620 The Zone. Your Omaha area forecast from the Godfather's Pizza Weather Center and KETV Newswatch 7 on 1620 The Zone.
After a slight chance of showers and storms this morning, we'll see morning clouds give way to afternoon sun. Still staying warm today, a high of 86 in Omaha. Low humidity, be comfortable with winds out of the north, 5 to 10 miles an hour. Clear skies tonight and cooler, a low near 60. I'm meteorologist Caitlin Harvey with KETV Newswatch 7.
The Zone Hotline is powered by Luss Hills Harley-Davidson, your home in the hills.
Summer is here, and if you have a gotta get it done this year project, trust the official exterior experts of the Huskers, J-Tech Construction. Call them for a free estimate on roofing, siding, windows, or even solar. They're close by with 3 locations in Nebraska, including Lincoln, Grand Island, and Omaha. Need financing? J-Tech offers 0% interest for 60 months. Call 402-261-3682 or go online to yourexteriorexperts.com. J-Tech Construction, Nebraska's exterior expert.
The Ford truck lineup is purpose-built from the ground up, designed to be tough and productive. Crafted with high-strength, military-grade aluminum alloy body and torture-tested high-strength steel frame with new tech to help you work smart and hard. The F-150, Ranger, and Maverick are built tough and ready to tackle whatever lies ahead. Hit the road in confidence and learn more about Ford trucks in-store or online anytime at WoodhouseFord.com, your trusted truck dealer since 1975. Woodhouse Ford.
Being in business 100 years can't be easy. Rotella's Bakery is that business. Great family-owned and operated business that understands the needs of the community. They specialize in breads and rolls made from the highest quality ingredients, ensuring that they are superior in taste. At Rotella's, with 5 great generations represented, the American success story is combined with customer satisfaction, and they don't compromise in quality. For more information about their specialty breads, you can visit rotellasbakery.com.
Hi guys, it's Andrew with Brookside Medical Clinic. Is erectile dysfunction damaging your relationship? Are you sick of the pill and all the side effects? Well, welcome to the future. We have a major medical breakthrough. Brookside Medical Clinic uses the most advanced form of wave therapy. Backed by 60 clinical studies, our technology uses pressure waves to repair and open up blood vessels. We've helped countless men get rid of their ED. But what is the true end result? their relationship, even their lives improve drastically. If you're ready to regain your love life, call us right now, and not only will the assessment and ultrasound be free, we'll also give you a gift that produces immediate results in the bedroom. It almost never fails. This is worth $550, and it's free to callers right now. 402-671-7777. That's 402-671-7777. Put a stop to your erectile dysfunction and experience what I call the happiness ripple effect. Call Brookside Medical Clinic now. 402-671-7777.
Let's face it, credit cards are pretty much a necessity.
New tires for the car? Here's my card.
I order takeout, use my card. And most of us just accept the high interest rates credit cards charge as a necessary evil.
What are you going to do?
Get a low fixed rate credit card consolidation loan from Lightstream from $5,000 to $100,000 and pay off those credit card balances. Apply online and you could get your money as soon as the day you apply. The average credit card company charges over 19% APR, but with Lightstream, you can get a fixed rate as low as 5.73% APR with auto pay and excellent credit.
Now I can pay off my high-interest credit cards and save money with a much lower rate.
Apply today at lightstream.com/radio and get an additional interest rate discount. That's lightstream.com/radio. Lightstream.com/radio.
Subject to credit approval. Rates range from 5.73% APR to 19.99% APR and includes 0.5% auto pay discount. Lowest rate requires excellent credit. Terms and conditions apply and offers are subject to change without notice. Visit lightstream.com/radio for more information.
From harsh winters to blistering summers, Mother Nature can be a real pain sometimes. And Ty's Outdoor Power Superstores have everything you need to keep her in check season after season. Ty's is the largest Hustler dealer in the United States. It's where you'll find 17 expert technicians ready to service your equipment. We'll even assemble your purchase at no extra charge, test it out to make sure it's running right, and deliver it right to your home. So skip the big box stores and get to Ty's Outdoor Power Superstores in Omaha, Gretna, and Lincoln today.
All right, welcome back. We're the Connor Happer Show, 1620 The Zone, 1620thezone.com. We'll get Josh's top five here momentarily, but let's head back to the phones. We'll have more Husker stuff in the 1 o'clock hour coming up, so hang with us. Let's go to the Zone hotline. Powered by Les Hills Harley Davidson. It's random. Mike. Hey, Mike, what's going on?
Hey, Johnny Cash, great talent. That's Josh Hodson, great talent.
Give it to him.
Many are saying thank you.
Give it to him.
Thank you.
As they said. Listen, if you're an old enough Husker fan, you know that for 40 years, 1960 to 2000, nobody was better at running the ball and stopping the run in big-time football than Nebraska. And that is a fact.
Factual.
Yes. And watching that is very painful when you can't run and you can't stop the run. But here's the thing. If our quarterback is kind of at the latter part of the game like he was for most of the early part of the game, we win probably by 10 points anyway, don't you think?
Yeah, I think things got a little tight on everybody when, in that third quarter. Say that again.
Did he re-hurt his thumb?
Yeah, that's been like mentioned as a possibility. I do know the ball wasn't coming out right. Now, I don't know.
It was wobbling.
It was wobbling.
Yeah.
Now he got it there and it was on track. I don't know if he got hurt. I genuinely don't know. I would assume no, since we don't know. We haven't heard anything about it, but
I mean, he missed a number of passes, including a sure touchdown, and how many drop passes. Guys, we agree that, boy, these look like great hires. But we all say, hey, they haven't done anything yet. And I have to say, based on one game, it's just one game, I'm disappointed in every one of the new coaches, even our man Bill Bush, because he should have put a stop to that nonsense.
Yeah, I see. That's the thing that we don't know. Like, how did the whole thing? Was there a discussion, or was it just like I'm gonna parachute in? I'm calling this, and this is what it is.
How much time was there left in the game when he did that?
That was. I just had the drive chart up.
There's like 9 something to go in the third quarter, right?
Yeah, I think that sounds
so
right.
The game's over at that point. I mean, how ridiculous is that?
Exactly. Yeah, for him to afterwards say, I didn't think it was possible that they would, rip off 14 in a row after this. Like, really? You didn't?
Here's what happened for you. I thought
you're already up by 11 at a point during the game and blew it.
Are you a T fan? I thought of Lenny Dawson, the great the great Chief. And he was fantastic as a quarterback, won their Super Bowl. But he was asked in an interview I saw about Hank Stram and their relationship. And Hank Stram was calling plays. And they asked Lenny, well, were you allowed to audible? And he said, yeah, I did. But Stram told me once when I did that, he said, you can do it. You just better be right. It better work. And when I thought of that onside kick, I thought of that. Yeah, you can do that, but it better work.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, if it worked, we're obviously not talking about it. Does it still make it? Is it still a bad decision? I don't know. Probably. I would say.
It was a horrible decision because you could tell. But did Bill Bush have something to do? Like they said on TV, I don't know if you were listening to that. And I thought it was probably Bill Bush saying to the kicker, hey, something's there like this. If you see that, yeah, you can do it.
That's what Heward said. He said, that's a look. You could usually get that look, and that sort of triggers it. But, I mean, Frost took responsibility for it after the game. I'm going to assume that was a straight onside kick all the way.
Yeah, but regardless of all of that, if we can run and stop the run, we win the game. Or if our receivers, how many did they drop? Or not getting first down yardage was that, a great new receiver didn't get you got to get 5 yards. You need to go 3 yards. He doesn't go past the marker. And our great tight end getting hurt. And the quarterback, I hope he's healthy because he looked fantastic. How do you, that one scrambling play he made in the long pass, where do you rate that in plays by a quarterback over the years? I put that in the top 5.
That's pretty good because it was starting to look bleak there. Like, oh, that was a third down play, right? It's starting to look like, oh, man, this thing is turning in the wrong direction. And that sort of just got pulled out of the hat. That was a great play. He kept that thing going forever. But then after that, it just, it wasn't the same.
Right. And remember, he tripped on his own feet shortly after that.
That's right. He didn't he was running, he was scrambling out. He didn't get his foot down quite soon enough.
But look, I told you guys, I hate it when they say we got to win this game. We got to win this game, and don't underestimate Northwestern and their coach. And boy, they hit the weight room. They were talking about the list that these running backs had.
Yeah, he's really good.
It's first game, and guys got to work together. So let's not jump to total conclusion. But we love Chenander. My goodness, what a miserable game for the defense. But it'll get better.
Thanks, Mike.
You bet.
It'll get better. So. All right, Josh's top 5. Josh, the winners of the weekend. Who do we have?
That is correct. We begin with number 5.
God, come on. Take forever.
Number 5.
I've got Bell West at number 5.
Oh.
Thunderbirds had another one go down to the wire, a 28-26 win over North Friday night after the Vikings scored a touchdown with just 4 seconds left. Game tying 2-point conversion, no good. And the Thunderbirds moved to 2-0.
How about that?
After
tough start to the season with Prep and North.
Yeah, that's a tough
all these
slate.
Front-loaded schedules. Prep starts with, I was just looking at it. Prep starts with, Bellevue West, West Side, Millard North, Gretna, Millard West.
Wow.
That is more than half of their schedule.
You will know a lot about your team at the end of that.
Yes.
Also, because the season will be over.
Right.
Number 4.
You only get 4 more.
Number 4 is Rory McIlroy.
Rory,
33-year-old, won his 3rd FedEx Cup and the $18 million that goes along with it.
I'd like to see him win a major, Josh.
Biggest you don't need majors when the FedEx Cup pays you $18 million. But the biggest defender of the PGA won its championship after trailing 6 shots to world number 1 Scotty Scheffler. Rory got it done.
Way to go, Rory. People are rooting for Rory. Rory's become like the golf guy that everybody roots for now.
Like, oh, yeah.
In the absence of everybody going to the Live Tour and Tiger.
Somebody's got to be anti-Live, and that guy is. So
he's our guy.
That's my guy.
3. Combination of 3 and 5.
Number 3.
Connor, this is a big one. To my knowledge of doing these winners of the weekend, neither of us have ever been in the winners of the weekend.
Me for mowing the lawn?
Connor, you're the 3rd biggest winner of the weekend.
Oh, what did I do?
If you've been listening to the show, you would have known Connor said in the regionals that Hawaii was going to win this year's Little League World Series. And by golly, they did it.
You're right.
In dominating fashion. They beat Curacao yesterday in the finals, 13-3.
They did. I knew they would.
In just 4 innings for the state's 4th title. No one came within 4 runs of Hawaii Long.
I didn't even know they were going to be in it, and I go, you know what, Hawaii. They always win, and guess what? Hawaii did it.
They won
They're dominant.
6 games in Williamsport by a combined score of 60-5.
Whoa, I didn't realize that.
They
So really, the winner was the Hawaii Little League team, but I'm fine with me.
Look, they say in radio, let me give everyone a peek behind the curtain, you have to localize a national story.
Nice, very good.
And that is what I've done here in perfect fashion.
I appreciate that, Josh.
Here comes 2.
Number 2.
Number 2 is Taylor Swift.
Oh, I have an album coming out.
Yeah,
Everybody
it's a big deal,
loves
Connor.
me.
Yeah, everyone does. Tay-Tay showed up to the VMAs last night.
Tay-Tay.
Also, who knew the VMAs were last night? Not this 37-year-old.
Definitely not me.
Her all-too-well 10-minute version won Video of the Year, making Swift the only person in human history with 3 Video of the Year wins. Beyonce doesn't have 3. Michael Jackson doesn't have 3.
Wow.
No human has ever won 3 until last night. And then she announced a new album titled Midnights, about 13 sleepless nights in her life. Husker fans can definitely write that exact same album.
Nice. Good joke. I like it.
Thank you.
Finish with the joke. I'm not looking forward to the Taylor Swift album,
Wow.
but
You're going to have to turn in your Caucasian card, Connor. I'm sorry.
Okay. All right. Everybody else will be pretty excited about this.
I will be.
I know that. I didn't know that you were a big Swiftie.
I unironically appreciate the entire catalog.
I like some of Taylor Swift's songs, but it did not give me chills when she announced her album last night about the time she couldn't sleep. Next.
That is what the album's about. The number 1 biggest winner of the weekend. We're spanning the globe trying to get you winners.
Make it so, number 1.
Number 1.
The fans at, I've already forgotten the name of the stadium. Aviva Tel Aviv Stadium?
No,
Aviva Stadium, sorry. The card readers were down. No one in a society worldwide anymore takes cash, so they just gave away the beer, and man, did it look like a party. A very sizable cup snake was formed. I saw a man on Twitter walking back to his seat with what looked like 12, maybe 16 beers.
Yeah.
Just walking up the steps like, okay, I can't spill these.
They got the cup snake to go into the second deck.
Yeah, that was pretty impressive.
I love the shot that they got on TV. They missed all the other shots of the football game.
Mhm.
Horrible camera work, but they did get the shot of the cup snake attempting to go into the upper deck and then falling apart.
Shout out to the
Looked like a party there.
The management at the stadium for not breaking up the cup snake like they do at Wrigley for
Yeah.
some unknown reason.
No, it definitely seems like Ireland's all in for the party.
Hey, this is Wrigley Field. It's a sad place. Stop.
Right. Be sad. Be sad.
Be sad. If you're gonna lose another heartbreaker, at least get a pint in you.
How about the thing going down and not only just giving out the free beer and food to people, but also it went very, very public, very, very viral.
Yes.
So I would assume that all the people in the stadium were just like, well, I'm going back to the line. Like usually you try to keep that under wraps as much as you possibly can.
Mm-hmm.
But
no, they were like,
I'm proud of this. We're giving out all the free beer and food.
I don't know if the refrigeration units aren't up to snuff there in Europe, but I don't know. Maybe we'll get some boots on the ground reports later in the week.
It did look like a lot of fun. It looked like a lot of fun to be there until the end, of course.
Until the end, yeah.
All right, thank you, Josh. That is the top 5. Coming back, we will have Jim Harbaugh getting biblical. He's talking about sawing his quarterbacks in half, apparently. So we'll have that. And some stats on the updated spreadsheet that I have. How's Nebraska as favorites? How's Nebraska as touchdown or more favorites in the Scott Frost era? The numbers, not pretty. Next on 1620 The Zone.
After Nebraska plays on Saturday, you'll wake up on Sunday morning with a severe reaction. Michael Severe returns to 1620 The Zone and he won't hold back about what went right and what went wrong during the game. He'll also take calls from the most important voice of all, yours, Severe Reaction. Sundays from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m., powered by Equitable Bank. We take banking personally, only on 1620 The Zone.
Dan Thompson of Thompson & Thompson, third generation roofing, siding, gutters, and more, where they're celebrating 25 years of business.
Thank you, Omaha, and all the communities around for putting your trust in us for 25 years. Integrity is what our customers like about us, and they know they can trust us to protect their home and make it look great. Call Thompson & Thompson third generation today and become one of the thousands of customers who are glad they did. Or click thompsonthird.com.
Ted Wally's. Squeeze every last bit of flavor out of summer than you can with a spoonful of creamy, delicious Ted Wally's Ultra Premium Ice Cream. If you're in Benson, swing in for pints, quarts, or half gallons of Ted Wally's to take home. Or if you're in the old market, taking your senior photos or maybe just kind of hanging out, slip into Ted Wally's for a tasty treat after the photo session. There's still plenty of summer left. Enjoy it with rich, creamy flavors of Ted Wally's Ultra Premium Ice Cream in Benson, the Old Market, and at tedwallys.com.
TrackPhone wants to know, are you an influencer, a big live streamer? No? Then guess what? You don't need an endless data plan. Get just the right amount of data with TrackPhone's $40 unlimited talk and text smartphone plan. Now with 8 gigs of high-speed data and unlimited carryover on America's largest, most dependable network, now with 5G. Get the data you need at the price you want. TrackPhone Wireless. Now you're in control. Available at major retailers. 5G compatible device required. Actual availability, coverage, and speed may vary. See terms and conditions at trackphone.com.
Hey, thanks for coming over, Jake from State Farm. Couldn't say no, Pablo. I love me some vinyl. Well, my budget doesn't. Calling time on my vinyl collecting. Whoa! Don't give up what you love. State Farm has options like insuring your home and ride with great rates on both. Ooh, that's music to my ears. All right, spin that vinyl. For surprisingly great rates, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Call or go to statefarm.com for a quote today.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ziprecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
It hit me like a ton of bricks. I'm like, I never smoked a cigarette. How in the hell did I get lung cancer?
I don't smoke. I've never smoked. So I started Googling. One word just kept coming up, like it was in bold and red, and it was radon.
Radon is the number 2 cause of lung cancer.
Well, you don't know if it's in your home. You got to test. You can't see it. You can't taste it. You can't smell it.
What's your level? Radon Defense Midwest can help. Visit radonradio.com for a special offer. That's radonradio.com.
Shop Woodhouse Place Hyundai and Nissan, 144th and Giles. KOZN, Bellevue, Omaha, Council Bluffs.
All right, welcome back. We're the Connor Happer Show, 1620 The Zone, 1620thezone.com. 3 hours have flown by. If you missed anything, the radio replays, podcasts up at 1620thezone.com as we go. I'll be happy to take your phone calls as well. 402-951-1620. Also on the text line is open. Tweets. All right, here's some stats. Updated the old spreadsheet last night. Felt good to get it back out and add something to it. Game number 45.
Dusted off the old spreadsheet.
Game number 45 in the books. Here are some numbers. Nebraska has now lost 4 straight games as favorites. Nebraska has now lost 4 games in a row in which they were favorites.
My analysis.
Yeah, I want to give you your analysis on all these stats.
That's not good.
Okay. Stat number 2. In the Scott Frost era, 45 games, Nebraska is now 13-12 outright as a favorite. Meaning
one more time.
Anytime they are a favorite in a football game against the spread, they are 13-12 outright.
Okay.
13-12 as a favorite outright. I don't know how many times I could say it to really drive it home. That is unbelievably bad. That does not even make sense how bad that is.
It's not great. It's not great.
Like
you're going to want to be better.
You're going to want to win at least, I don't know, at least 75% of the games that you're supposed to win. They barely have won half.
Yeah, I mean
13 wins in 25 games.
I'd ask you for a comp just to like have another team, but
when,
you know it's going to be better than that.
Remember when we did this? Somebody asked about it.
We about dogs. Asked about being a dog, right?
What?
An underdog.
Oh,
a dog. Sorry, I thought that would save time. Clearly, it did not.
You got that dog in you. No, we did this. Yeah. So we did it this way and the other way too. Like Minnesota had some ungodly record as an underdog. Yes, but how I did it was all the other Big Ten West teams. Maybe I still have the spreadsheet in here. But as favorites and as underdogs, and basically the math turned out to be about 75% of the time you're going to win the games that you're favorites in, because there's going to be a chunk of those where you're favorites by, I don't know, 30, like the FCS games. And there's going to be another healthy chunk where you're at least a touchdown. Well, I actually do have the spreadsheet. Well, we can get back to it in a second. So then I looked at the games. Nebraska was settled in at an 11.5 point favorite. Bounced around a whole bunch in the 24 hours leading up to the game against Northwestern. As a touchdown or more favorite, 6.5 points or more. Touchdown or more favorite in the Scott Frost era. Nebraska is now 10-7 outright. Not covers, not covering the touchdown. 10-7 outright as a touchdown or more favorite. The wins come against 2018 Bethune-Cookman in Illinois. I mean, you could take Bethune-Cookman and Fordham like out, right? And if you do that, then it's even more troublesome. Bethune-Cookman, Illinois in 2018. 2019, South Alabama, Northern Illinois, and Maryland. 2020, Rutgers. There were 6.5 point favorites in that game. 2021, Fordham, Buffalo, and Northwestern. Those are their 10 wins. Win a touchdown or more favorite. The 7 losses, which really double as the dumbest losses in the Scott Frost era, or not the losses that necessarily hurt the most, but the ones where you're like, what in the bleep just happened? 2018 Troy, 2019 Northwestern, 2020 Illinois and Minnesota. Those were 2 of the worst games I've ever seen. 2021 Illinois and Purdue, and 2022 Northwestern. Those games follow a very specific track, and that track is how in the world did they lose that game? I would actually say the Northwestern game that just happened on Saturday was like, that one felt the most normal compared to the other ones.
Yeah, I did feel a little conditioned. Like, oh, okay, I know how this is going to end.
Like 2020 Illinois and Minnesota were abject disasters. Minnesota had like 4 defensive linemen because they all had COVID. And 2020 Illinois, Nebraska was the favorites by 16.5, and they lost by 18. Abject disaster. Same thing with 2021 Illinois. I think 9.5 point favorite in that game. Ended up losing by 8. Elsewhere, Nebraska gave up 528 total yards on Saturday against Northwestern. They have not given up more since. 2019 Ohio State when they gave up 583. Remember, that was a nationally televised game.
When you watch
College game day,
when you saw that stat pop up on the broadcast, did you have the same reaction I did that said, really? They've allowed 500 yards?
500 yards. Yes, I was
okay.
I was like, it doesn't seem like that many. But on the other hand, they've been getting, Northwestern's had only success, except for when they fumbled.
True.
The last time Nebraska gave up 500 yards total in a single game was against Penn State in 2020, a game in which they won, to add to the weirdness of this. Nebraska allowed 214 rushing yards on Saturday. You don't have to go back very long for the last time they did that. That was against Wisconsin, so just 2 games ago. And last but not least, Nebraska has now lost a record, an all-time record. 7 straight 1-score losses in a row.
It's a record for the program, right?
A record for anybody.
Anybody? Any program ever?
A record for any program ever. Reddit College Football said if you go back all the way to 1869, the streaks of 6 or more losses by a single score in major college football history come from the following teams. 1881 Amherst, 1882 Penn.
That was a good team.
1940 UCLA, 1953-54 BYU, 1984 Indiana, and 2017 Eastern Michigan. And there is only one 7-game losing streak by 1 score or more, or 1 score or less ever, and that would be by your very own Nebraska Cornhuskers.
Number 1.
That's just amazing. It's just amazing. Somebody asked me on Saturday, how have they done when they're like touchdown favorites, touchdown or more favorites? I was like, man, I don't know. I wouldn't imagine very good. 10-7, 10-7 now over the 4 years, over the 45 games.
Not good.
We get a tweet here from Chance, not our producer Chance, on the JTech Construction Zone Twitter feed. He says, please stop. I've already puked 15 to 20 times. Ooh, did you see that? Did you see the shade?
Yes, I did. I don't remember where it came from.
Oh, well, you're going to want to know the backstory.
I remember the tweet.
Did it get deleted? No, it did not. This comes from Kurt Anderson, who just so happens to be Northwestern's offensive line coach.
Oh, no.
He responded to a tweet. No, he just tweeted this out plainly at 7:31 p.m. on Saturday evening. And to think we only puked 4 times all camp.
It hurts to get dunked on, but that was pretty funny.
Oh, I thought you were crying there for a second. Are you okay?
Only on the inside.
And then he retweeted every other tweet where anybody else was talking about how good Northwestern's offensive line was.
There was vomit on the field at the Iowa Western game.
Oh,
Saturday.
Interesting.
Yep, one of the
puke gate continues.
I think it was a lineman, oddly enough.
Coincidentally.
Puked. Team came over there, watered it. They were good to go. Team ran for 207 yards that day, 146-0.
So, as we said earlier, everything's sort of a referendum on the program now. This is just the moment that we're in for Nebraska football. But I seriously cannot believe how inconsistent they are against teams that they are supposed to beat. And I'm not saying supposed to beat like from a brand standpoint. I'm talking about what Vegas says. I'm talking about what the odds are before the game. 13-12 outright as a favorite. You're only winning half of the games that you're supposed to win. And 10-7 outright as a touchdown or more favorite. And like I said, Bethune-Cookman's cooked in there. Fordham is cooked in there. And then there's a Rutgers win cooked in there where you were 6.5-point favorites. It's just so bad. Mr. Rick sends a tweet in. He says, if Nebraska had free beer at Memorial Stadium, number 1, the sellout streak continues. And number 2, a cup snake would go the length of North Stadium. True or false? A cup snake would go the length of Memorial Stadium.
At Happer Show on Twitter. And before we go to break, I'll hit you with this piece of breaking news, Connor. A name for South Carolina's live rooster mascot has been decided upon.
Oh, did they go with the...
They did not go with that one.
I wasn't going to say it.
The General.
Ah, disappointing.
Very sad. Marco Pollo was pretty funny.
Marco Pollo. That was one of them?
Yeah.
That's a great one. Good question from the text line. When was the official Sigs Inside season declaration made on Saturday? Good question. It was right before I think Northwestern took a knee. It didn't take very long. I'll get you an exact time. 3:13 p.m. 3:13 p.m. Everybody was having Sigs Inside. All right, coming back, we'll have Jim Harbaugh. We still have these quotes from Scott Frost that I thought were notable, all to round out the show. The final half hour of the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone.
There are actually two kinds of cigars. The first is the one you smoke with beloved family and friends. The second, the one you enjoy with friends you've just met. And you'll find both at Hearth Cigars and Pipes Lounge. At Hearth Cigars and Pipes Lounge, there's a well-stocked humidor with some of the best bands from around the world and a bar with your favorite cocktails and other drinkables. Join us September 2nd for the Oliva event from 6 to 9 for live music, free food, and awesome cigar deals. Hearth Cigars and Pipes Lounge, just off I-680 and 48th Street next to Cubby's.
Would you rather that your roof or siding last 5 years or 50 years? I'm Dan Thompson of Thompson & Thompson 3rd Generation. Products today last much longer. Gone are the days of just tear shingles off, nail shingles on. Whether it's impact resistant, high wind tolerance, or in the case of EuroShield hail-proof rubber shingles, you can have great designer looks and durability. At Thompson & Thompson 3rd Generation, we don't just give you an estimate, we educate you and give you options. So you decide, 5 or 50. Click Thompson 3rd today and start enjoying your new roof or siding.
When it comes to cement fiber siding, you want durability, hail and chip resistance, and beauty. You want James Hardy cement fiber siding. Carp's Complete Home Exteriors is an elite preferred James Hardy contractor. Call Carp's today or visit carpsomaha.com.
Email any of our shows anytime into the Equitable Bank inbox. At Equitable, we take banking personally. For me, John at 1620thezone.com. The Equitable Bank inbox from 1620 The Zone.
The Ford truck lineup is purpose-built from the ground up, designed to be tough and productive. Crafted with high-strength, military-grade aluminum alloy body and torture-tested high-strength steel frame with new tech to help you work smart and hard. The F-150, Ranger, and Maverick are built tough and ready to tackle whatever lies ahead. Hit the road in confidence and learn more about Ford trucks in-store or online anytime at WoodhouseFord.com, your trusted truck dealer since 1975. Woodhouse Ford.
I absolutely love my dog, but the constant shedding, not so much. But then I got a Swiffer Sweeper Pet Kit, and it is amazing. These super thick cloths pick up a crazy amount of hair. Just look at all that. And that was from just one swipe. And the best part? Sweeper's so much easier to maneuver than a broom or a vacuum, easily getting around chairs and under the couch. You're right. Now I can focus on you, not your shedding. Swiffer Sweeper Pet Kit. Because shed happens.
Why for over 50 years has the McCarthy's promise been always on time or you don't pay a dime? Because at McCarthy's 1 Hour Heating and Air, customer service has always set them apart. Whether it's new installation or repair of your AC or furnace, you're entrusting that work to a McCarthy's trained, certified, and drug-tested service tech. Every job comes with a UN guarantee backed nationwide by the best customer service contractors. For heating and AC repair or replacement, you win with McCarthy's 1 Hour Heating and Air. Always on time or you don't pay a dime. McCarthy's1hour.com.
I always wanted to learn Spanish, but I never thought I'd have the time. Then I discovered Babbel.
Babbel's lessons are fun. They only take like 10 or 15 minutes, and in 3 weeks, presto, you're speaking another language. Like magic.
I love that Babbel's lessons aren't just robots talking.
They're voiced by native speakers, so you get the pronunciation just right. And they're designed by real language teachers, so you learn how to have real-world conversations, things you'll actually use.
3 weeks. It's incredible. After 3 weeks, I'm on vacation in Paris, having a conversation in French.
There's all kinds of ways to learn. Use Babbel's podcasts or games or videos. You can even join live classes with a language teacher.
If you want to learn a language, there's no faster, easier, better way than
Babbel.
Babbel.
Babbel. Babbel. Évidemment. Go to Babbel.com to try for free. That's BABBEL.com. Babbel.com.
My button doesn't work again. A good clarification from Jerry on the Echo Bank inbox. It says, on the 7 straight one-score losses, we lost to Ohio State last year, 26-17. I don't think that's a one-score loss. Single-digit losses instead of one-score losses. Yes, that sounds closer. Are we sure on that Ohio State score, though? Let me go back and check.
Oh, these numbers are out there. They're just floating about.
26-17.
Mixing and
so
mashing.
a single-digit loss. There you go. By the way, our good friend, Stu Manji, I don't know how he has the time for any of this stuff, but so Nebraska 13-12 outright as a favorite now over the last 4 years. For comparison, Wisconsin is 27-11 outright as a favorite. And Iowa, these are always the programs I pull just because they're the ones we're comparing ourselves to. Iowa, 29-3. They are winning at a 90%, almost 91% clip as a favorite. Jim Harbaugh made a odd announcement over the weekend. They haven't decided on a starting quarterback yet. So what they have decided to do, they have made a decision, but it's just not the one that is final. They're going to have Cade McNamara start the first game against Colorado State, and they're going to have J.J. McCarthy start in week 2 against Hawaii, and then they're going to decide after that. They're kicking the can down the road. Jim Harbaugh said this today, quote, "So many people have asked, how'd you come to that decision? Was it based on some sort of NFL model? No. It was really biblical. Solomon, he was known for being a pretty wise person. Now, if we're familiar at all with Solomon, very famous. What Solomon was famous for is that he chose to cut a baby in half so that two women who both said that, hey, that's my baby, so that both women could have half of the baby. But then, of course, the baby's real mother begged King Solomon to give the baby to the other woman so it wouldn't be killed, therefore revealing the true mother. So perhaps by splitting up the baby, in this case, the starting quarterback job, Jim Harbaugh will find out who the real winner, the true winner of the job is. Maybe one of the quarterbacks will say, actually, no, don't do this. Horrible idea. It's his.
Go with him.
What do we think the odds are of that happening?
I'm going to go 0.
I'm going to go not very good. Yeah. Harbaugh said it's a process. No person knows what the future holds, but the process will be based on performance. We think that both are capable of leading our team to a championship. But they could just do the same thing they did last year, which is just use both often.
Yeah, I mean, that's what it'll shake out to.
Right. But now we have talk of the Bible and Solomon and cutting bait. Like, we didn't have to go there, but we did. Here we are.
Got our first in-season kooky Jim Harbaugh quote.
Way to go. We
all the way back.
The Big Ten Network is going through all the press conferences today. By the way, Nebraska won't have their press conference this week until tomorrow, as they sort of get reacclimated back to the States. I do wonder what will be said this week. As Schaeffer said earlier, I will look forward to Mark Whipple's press conference this week. and what he might have to say. We do have some Scott Frost audio, which we'll get to here coming up after the break. But first, FanDuel wants you to be ready for game day when college football fully kicks off this week. Right now, new customers get $150 in free bets guaranteed for week one. Place a $5 bet, and you can get $150 in free bets. That is win or lose. Plenty of great college football coming up this week. And the great thing about the FanDuel Sportsbook is you can go inside of the game. You can take the same game parlay. You can go individual player props, anything you want, or you can go big for the entire season. Go for it all with a national championship future, a conference future. So many different ways to bet on the season. But now is the time to sign up for the FanDuel Sportsbook. The app's easy. They're always hooking you up with great odds, and when you win, you get paid quickly. That's what we all want. So see for yourself why FanDuel is America's #1 sportsbook. Download the FanDuel app today and sign up with promo code Happer. Place a $5 bet to get $150 in free bets guaranteed to kick off the college football season. Promo code Happer. 21 plus, present in Iowa. First online real money wager only. $10 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable free bets that expire 14 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-BETS-OFF.
Previously on Unsportsmanlike Conduct.
90-ish% of the time, the answer is always Aquaman. And brainwashing fish, you know what? Actually, Aquaman could come in handy because if he were over in Ireland right now, he could just stand on the Nebraska sidelines, brainwash all the people eating their fish and chips. Oh, yup. The fried fish jump out of the basket.
Come back to life. Unsportsmanlike Conduct with John Bishop and Josh Peterson. Weekdays 2 to 6 on 1620 The Zone. Your Omaha area forecast from the Godfather's Pizza Weather Center and KETV Newswatch 7 on 1620 The Zone.
After a slight chance of showers and storms this morning, we'll see morning clouds give way to afternoon sun. Still staying warm today, a high of 86 in Omaha. Low humidity, be comfortable with winds out of the north, 5 to 10 miles an hour. Clear skies tonight and cooler, a low near 60. I'm meteorologist Caitlin Harvey with KETV Newswatch 7.
Dingman's Collision Center, Omaha's top choice. For over 20 years, your safety is our #1 priority.
Hey everyone, Josh Peterson here for my friends at Miracle Hill Golf and Tennis. If you have played golf this summer and you haven't been that happy with your game, Mike Sautter, their director of instruction, he can help you out. Give Miracle Hill Golf a call today at 402-498-0220. Book lessons or book a round of golf, whether it's a quick 9 after work, a full 18 on the weekend, the Top Tracer building, you can get your golf game right. 402-498-0220, Miracle Hill Golf and Tennis.
The Omaha Farmers Market is offering the city's largest and best selection of farm fresh, locally grown produce May 7th through October 16th. Open rain or shine in the Old Market every Saturday from 8 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. and in Exarban Village every Sunday from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. To keep up with what's in season, visit omahasfarmersmarket.org and follow us on Facebook and Instagram. Presented by University of Nebraska Omaha, Methodist Health System, and KETV Channel 7.
This is Scott Schultz from Host Coffee. 2022 marks our 50th year and business has never been better. We continue to grow and add new customers. Many employers are looking for new ideas for their staff as people return to the office. Our pantry service is a great office amenity for staff and guests. Fresh food, snacks, coffee, water, and other beverages for employees and guests. Enhance your office experience with pantry service from Host Coffee. Learn more at hostcoffee.net.
Hi guys, it's Andrew with Brookside Medical Clinic. Is erectile dysfunction damaging your relationship? Are you sick of the pill and all the side effects? Well, welcome to the future. We have a major medical breakthrough. Brookside Medical Clinic uses the most advanced form of wave therapy. Backed by 60 clinical studies, our technology uses pressure waves to repair and open up blood vessels. We've helped countless men get rid of their ED. But what is the true end result? Their relationship, even their lives, improve drastically. If you're ready to regain your love life, call us right now, and not only will the assessment and ultrasound be free, we'll also give you a gift that produces immediate results in the bedroom. It almost never fails. This is worth $550, and it's free to callers right now. 402-671-7777. That's 402-671-7777. Put a stop to your erectile dysfunction and experience what I call the happiness ripple effect. Call Brookside Medical Clinic now, 402-671-7777.
Let's face it,
Credit cards are pretty much a necessity.
New tires for the car? Here's my card.
I order takeout, use my card. And most of us just accept the high interest rates credit cards charge as a necessary evil.
What are you going to do?
Get a low fixed rate credit card consolidation loan from Lightstream from $5,000 to $100,000 and pay off those credit card balances. Apply online and you could get your money as soon as the day you apply. The average credit card company charges over 19% APR, but with Lightstream, you can get a fixed rate as low as 5.73% APR with autopay and excellent credit.
Now I can pay off my high-interest credit cards and save money with a much lower rate.
Apply today at lightstream.com/radio and get an additional interest rate discount. That's lightstream.com/radio. Lightstream.com/radio.
Subject to credit approval. Rates range from 5.73% APR to 19.99% APR and included 0.5% autopay discount. Lowest rate requires excellent credit. Terms and conditions apply and offers are subject to change without notice. Visit lightstream.com/radio for more information.
The passion and excitement of high school football continues every week, and the high school football update covers it all every Saturday morning. Join veteran sportscasters Jim Kelter and Torrey Pantalian Saturday mornings 8 to 10 on 1180 The Zone.
Well, you got to win in this business to keep your job. That's the way it is. I love Nebraska. I love the state of Nebraska. I love these fans that sacrificed to come over here. I want to thank them. The guys, the coaches, they did everything the right way leading up to this. I wouldn't change a thing about the way we handled the travel. The kids were dialed in. I give Northwestern a lot of credit. Again, they were more physical than us, I thought, up front at times today. Probably more than we were, and that was probably the difference. And we got to get this turned around.
That is Scott Frost asked about his future, and the start of the quote is, well, you got to win. You got to win in this business. He knows it. He understands that his he doesn't have very much time left if it continues on this path. So I actually, sort of appreciated that answer. And then there was the doozy to finish things off. And by the way, this was like 2 or 3 questions after, they were like, hey, let's wrap it up. No more questions here. We gotta get out of here. But one more snuck in, and it was asked of Scott Frost by an Irish journalist. Hey, would you consider resigning? Would you consider stepping down?
No, absolutely not. I love Nebraska. I'm going to fight with the guys as long as I can fight.
So that's put to bed. I don't know that anybody thought.
Is that a real possibility
in
anyone's mind?
You'd be surprised. I heard that a little bit. Don't you think Frost would just step down if it gets too bad? No. Are you kidding me?
If I stay and you fire me, I get all the money.
Yeah, but also he's too proud. He just wouldn't do that. It's not like, have we heard or watched at all of the last 4 years? We know these people, right?
Mm-hmm.
We know what they're going to do and who they are. He's just not stepping down.
Got a good vibe.
It's not stepping down. That's for sure. We played the calling plays one earlier. I want to do it one more time, and then we'll get to some other things here from Frost after the game.
It's tough for me. I've said this, there's no one way to do things. But I think we can cooperate and a little bit more. Probably the thing that hurt our offense is when we.
By the way, did you hear the pause in there? I think we can cooperate a little bit more. This is just my read. That sounded like, ooh, maybe shouldn't have said that.
That one might come back.
Yeah. Ooh, whoops. Dang. Let that one slip.
Got in situations where you're just running the ball. We weren't efficient enough. And when you gain yards on those plays, it gives you more opportunities to run the stuff that you think could hit big.
This quote, for so many different reasons, is incredibly baffling to me. Incredibly baffling. There's not only that, the offensive coordinator that was just brought in to run the offense and the coach saying, actually, you know what? Never mind. We need to cooperate on this a little bit more. We need to be a little bit more collaborative together. There is also the creativity part. And you hear it, and like Schaeffer said earlier, you hear it and you're like, oh, okay, yeah, we need to be a little bit more creative. I guess I can understand that. But then you think about it. You said it earlier. Oh, yeah. Who are the most creative teams in the division? Like Purdue and Illinois trying to figure out who their head coach is, and Nebraska? The teams that haven't won. So in the same vein where he talks about how he has, and there's another one in here, and I think it's on the one about Casey Thompson, but he talks about his experience of what wins in the league. In the very same 8 to 10 minute stretch, he talks about needing creativity to win in this league, and you just don't. In his mind, he thinks that, though. He thinks that he can win it. He thinks that he can scheme his way around all of these things. And the fact is, they're just not good enough in the nuts and bolts of what you have to do to win football games. Like the very basic, fundamental stuff. They're not good enough there, and he can't admit it. That's one of the most alarming things about the entire deal here. It's the lack of awareness. You gotta understand who you are and what you have to do at this point. Got it all wrong, all messed up. The question was about Casey Thompson in the first half versus the second half, and I think he spins off into that creativity part here.
I don't know if there was a difference with the quarterback. We lost Travis Vokalek for the game. That hurt us a little bit on a couple of them. We got to make sure we get them in the right stuff. Again, this is the type of game we're going to be in, where you only get so many drives.
Maybe it wasn't this one.
And you got to take advantage of them. And 2 turnovers hurt. I think we were up 11 twice in the game.
Correct.
And gave up the lead, which we can't do on defense. And we got to score when we're needed to on offense.
All right, we're just going to go through a couple more of these then. Here, the second one I pulled, concerns that he has and then the future.
Well, you got to win in this business
there it is.
to keep your job.
Oh, no, we played that one. We played that one coming in. On physicality.
I don't know if there's a big difference, but, we certainly didn't dominate. And, again, I give their staff a lot of credit, too. There were some scheme things that they hit us on offense. I think we're going to have to learn as an offensive staff
there
that
it is.
You got to be a little creative in this league. So we have some things that we can work on. That we did a lot of good things, but it's got to be more of a complete game.
I get it. He's reeling, right? They just lost. He's
got the jet lag, Connor.
They just lost in a really, sort of shocking but unshocking way again, right? You're starting the season this way, but that was a tough 10 minutes, in my opinion. I just, and then to go back and I don't know, at least erase some of what was said in the offseason about, or attempting to, and calling plays. Maybe we'll get clarification on this tomorrow, but just an odd 10 minutes there after the game for Scott Frost. By the way, Pat Fitzgerald set up at his deal for a long time. Now he won the game. Set up at his deal for a long time and talked extensively about how he's going to be engaging in some good old-fashioned Irish fun on Saturday and Sunday evening. There was talk of Guinness and Jameson. He was throwing out all the buzzwords. He thanked a lot of people for like 5 minutes. He would have stayed up there forever.
Like a NASCAR driver.
Go Cats. Exactly. Mike emails in the Equitable Bank inbox. Not sure why people think I would know, but I get emails on Husker football games. A couple of fans asked why he didn't stick with the quarterback run by Smothers. At least that series when Northwestern appeared caught off guard. Maybe you had an answer. I still think And maybe it could have been used more than once. It's definitely a thing that a curveball that you try to throw when you want to stomp them out, when you want to stomp somebody out. Hey, we got answers for everything you try to throw at us. So there's the game script is a piece of it, but I think that, and I heard somebody call into the post-game show and be like, hey, this is the way we have to do it. This is the way we have to do it. I think that is better served as a curveball for what Nebraska does on the offensive side of the ball. Could you have used it more than one play? Sure. But a different look every once in a while is not the worst thing in the world. That's what we thought all the way. We hinted at the possibility there could be a Smothers package, and there was. We just, maybe we saw that it worked one time and you want to stick with it. I'm telling you, some things weren't meant to be that way. Nebraska's played that game over the last 4 years. It's better served as a curveball at this point. We will come back and round up the show with the poll questions and what to watch next on 1620 The Zone.
After Nebraska plays on Saturday, you'll wake up on Sunday morning with a severe reaction. Michael Severe returns to 1620 The Zone, and he won't hold back about what went right and what went wrong during the game. He'll also take calls from the most important voice of all, yours, Severe Reaction. Sundays from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m., powered by Equitable Bank. We take banking personally, only on 1620 The Zone.
Hey friends, Kent Pavelka here, back with John Higgins and the Rooferees at the Weather Guard showroom. I imagine there are a lot of people out there with really bad roofs waiting for the magic moment. When's the magic moment?
Depends on what type of roof you have. It depends on how old your roof is. I have a customer right now talking about waiting for that hailstorm. Now it's leaking. There's a time where you can't wait for that hailstorm forever.
When it comes time to replace your roof, your gutters, and siding, there's only one call to make. The Rooferees at John Higgins Weather Guard.
Ray Magliozzi here for eBay Motors. You're driving along and some nimrod cuts you off. You hit the horn. Jeez, it sounds like a goose in distress. Time to head over to eBay Motors. They have horns for every make and model, not to mention horn pads, steering wheels, wiring, and more. 122 million parts. You can even go for an upgrade. Looks like Mr. Cutoff Man needs a new seat cover. Try eBay Motors, pal. Get the right parts at the right prices. eBay Motors. Let's ride.
If you have a small business, Staples has your sign.
Banners for my bakery?
Staples has your sign.
Oh, posters for my new pet store.
Floor decals for a pharmacy.
Every day, Staples associates help every kind of small business create bold signs to make big impressions. And now get $10 off custom signs, banners, and posters when you spend $50 or more. This is your sign, so print it big at Staples. Ends 10/1. Visit staplesconnect.com/thisisyoursign for details.
Hey, Olivia, what do you think when you think of Jones Bros Cupcakes and Cafe?
I think, can we go now?
Jones Bros is famous for award-winning cupcakes. Our cafe is delicious for breakfast and lunch, too.
Try French macarons.
And our light bulb boba drinks.
And our ice cream.
And our coffee and lattes.
And our croissant donuts.
We cater, too. Come see us at Jones Bros Cupcakes and Cafe in Exarban Village.
Come on, let's go.
Husker coverage on 1620 The Zone is presented by Tickets for Less. Tickets for Less is your local source for Nebraska football tickets. Compare and save today at ticketsforless.com. All the Nebraska football news, stories, experts, and coverage you need is on 1620 The Zone.
You can join us every week for the Sharp and Betting podcast. It's Sharp and Betting. We got a podcast driven by our good friends at Woodhouse Auto Family.
Yeah, the cool thing about it is we'll get more in depth on a lot of your favorite topics, have a guest or two, and just might drop some nuggets of information that you've never heard before.
Wherever you get your podcasts, just look for Sharp and Betting. We got a podcast driven by Woodhouse Auto Family each Friday. You can find it on the Sharp and Betting show page on 1620thezone.com. At Sharp and Betting, we got a podcast.
All right, here's the current state of things. Josh, would you like to explain what a caller just called in to discuss with you?
Yeah, he called in. And while I do think it's an accurate statement, it is a weird thing to call into a radio station and say. The caller, very nice, said, I just don't know what more there is to say about Scott Frost.
I just don't know.
Then
we should have let him on air and just say that. I don't know what there is to say.
I find it accurate, but also It's like calling into a radio station and going, I'm speechless.
I can do that. Oh. Oh, by the way, Pat Fitzgerald has been fake quoted.
Yeah, there's a fake going around. Check your internets.
So the fake quote, once again, I'm reading a fake quote. Fake quote.
Not real.
This was a good test, but we have recent division titles. There was one team on the field today with the championship culture, and in the end, culture prevailed.
That's a fakie.
That would be a fake quote. I listened to the whole press conference afterwards. He did not say that.
In about 3 days, your dad is going to send you this post on Facebook with this quote and the image attached to it. And go, can you believe this guy?
Yeah.
Forward, reply, forward.
Very good. Smug. Now, I'm not denying that Patty wasn't a little smug in his post-game press conference, and he wasn't happy. He was definitely happy with the win that his team got and the way that they got it. You know, he likes that. He likes the way they won it, for sure, because they sort of physically dominated. But he did not speak this way about Nebraska. Maybe he was thinking it. I don't know. But fake news.
Still out there.
Oh yeah, it's getting some run. Actually, somebody just texted it to me in my group text. There was that, and then the very real Big Sky Conference denying Nebraska admission.
Yes, that was a real tweet from the real Big Sky Conference.
I'm gonna go back to it and just take a look real quick.
Not a great look for dear old Nebraska U.
So it was a tweet that started by somebody that said Nebraska football is going to be playing at Big Sky Conf soon. Big Sky Conf quote tweeted and said, "Nah, we good." And then somebody in the responses said, a Nebraska fan said, "How many does the Big Sky Conference have?" And it's a picture of Nebraska's 5 national championship trophies.
Okay. Weird flex.
Big Sky Conf says, "We have 6, with the last coming in 2010, which is more recent than 1997.
Oh, no.
I don't know if those are football titles, but I guess they would be. Yeah, the Big Sky. So good try, but do not approach the Big Sky Conference.
They will roast you.
Do we have poll questions today, or was it too football-y?
We did some polls. They came in late. I was a little worried we weren't going to have any, but Schaefer got us started with a good one.
Thank you, Schaefer. Let's see. Got to find the first one. Is Steve Harvey a comic genius? I like Steve Harvey. I'll go with yes. I feel like people throw that term around pretty loosely, but whatever. 55% say no. Steve Harvey is not a comic genius.
It's close. Get in there and vote.
Are we a nationally syndicated show now? I would actually like to know the answer to this question, given our range of callers from.
We had Columbus, Ohio, Virginia, Houston, Texas.
Yep.
New Jersey.
Yep. Maybe the rest were all from Nebraska.
Yeah. I mean, we're national, baby.
I'm going to vote yes.
Yeah.
50-50. Right on the mark right now. Nobody knows for sure. Do you know a lot of POs? No context. Yes. 69% say no.
Nice.
And finally, would a cup snake stretch across the North Stadium in Memorial Stadium? Sure. Yeah. 64% say yes.
At least that first time out for sure.
Those are the poll questions. Josh, what are we watching tonight?
We don't have much to watch tonight, but these are the pickings. Padres Giants, 8:45 on ESPN Plus. You got the Yankees and Angels. I believe that's 8:30 on MLB Network. It is not an Ohtani start for the Angels. The U.S. Open is on all day long on ESPN and ESPN2.
Tennis.
It is day one of the hardcourt major there in New York. Flushing, I believe, to be exact. Serena Williams will play tonight around 6 o'clock. This is rumored to be her final tournament before expanding her family because she does not like the word retirement. So we will respect her wishes because She could probably beat me up. NBC, 7 o'clock tonight, the 14th season finale of American Ninja Warrior.
Woo!
The national finals conclude in Las Vegas as the remaining competitors vie for their chance to win $1 million and become the next American Ninja Warrior.
Yay.
And Connor, this one's for you. 7 o'clock, ABC, The Bachelorette, The Men Tell All. Rachel and Gabby reunite with 14 of this summer's most memorable bachelors and answer their burning questions.
That sounds fun. Sounds like what my wife will be watching tonight.
Yeah, there's not a lot for you.
She is soured on the Bachelor a little bit. She mostly just complains about the Bachelor now.
Well, I think there's a market, like there's a industry for that. Like,
oh yeah, it's called Twitter.
Hate watch, yeah,
Sure.
absolutely.
All right, thank you, Josh. That is what we are watching tonight. If you missed anything, 1620thezone.com is where you can find it. Had a lot of good calls earlier in the show, and we hope we match that with some halfway decent takes and analysis. We will be back tomorrow. Crossover is next.
Introducing the all-new 2 for